Hi there.
Why?
Good
Can you hear
morning.
me? Yeah? All right. Let me put this down. And let me get you on the other computer. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Hold on.
You in the wrong class?
No, no, it's just that
Hi,
I have,
George. Is your daddy here?
hold on, because
Oh, you gotta go around.
Nadine
Hey,
is trying
don't
to
pee
get me
on
to
my
switch.
plant.
Thank you, honey.
I can't hear you guys. Trying to hear the people in here. Give me a second. Everyone down a teensy bit because they're talking to me and I can't hear them. Yeah. Sorry. No, it's just that I couldn't hear. Okay, so someone from the Zoom was saying something and I couldn't hear you because people here were boisterous. So can you tell me what people said?
It was a private conversation, I think.
Oh, it was also a private conversation. Well, there you go then. Okay, good. So then we're good. All right, then here comes the other one and we're ready to go. Okay, perfect. I just had to, I knew that someone in the Zoom was saying something and I couldn't hear them. I do have this bell because the people here can get pretty raucous, noisy, but anyway, welcome. Hi.
Hey,
All right, so let me see who's here. Julie and Sue, Barbara. Hi, Mary Jean. Hi, I was about to say hi, Diana. That's me. Hi, Martha. Hi. Oh, Maud, you're there again on your phone. Thank you for joining. Let me put your name.
can't get my computer to
Are you
work.
still babysitting?
I am at home, but there's no electricity at my house, so I don't have a good connection.
No way. Maud, can you spell your last name? Which is, I'm clueless about how to do that. So I could type-
RETCHIN dash FEIL. Sorry, it's kind of,
That's okay. I think you tell me if I wrote it right or not.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Can you tell me, can you hear me?
Yes, I
'Cause
can hear you.
that's all I hear. Thank you.
Yep. And then hi, Rodney, who I'm saying hi to, but is not at the chair. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, Blas. And hi, Alan. All right. And then hi, there. Hi, Carol. Hi, Phil, who I barely acknowledge, and Rodney and Gigi, because we were talking cars. Turns out some people here have some fancy cars, and I know nothing about cars. So anyway, if it's interesting because that's where you get what different people know about. People are like, oh, you know so much about computers. Yeah, I know nothing about cars. So nothing really, literally, no idea. What's that there? Yeah, and interest level, bandwidth, possibility. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, no idea. Nothing. It has wheels and it transports me, and it doesn't break down. That's what I know about cars.
That's what I know about computers.
There you go. We all have our thing, right? Always, if you ever wonder, because I don't sound that I'm not American, if you ever want, I am, by the way, I have dual citizenship, but I came to this country at college age. So one of the things you can tell is I know nothing about cars. I know nothing about sports, like, American football, basketball, all the, when sports season starts, I'm like, can't join conversations and people talk cars, can't. And my husband's family is from Minnesota. And he's like, you would never survive there because there people talk about sports, cars, or weather. I'm like, I can talk about weather. I can do weather pretty well. Anyway. My kids, both of them were not, well, one of my kids was a wrestler, so not no games. And the other one was into tennis. So yeah, I never had that. My kids are in, and my husband, a very American husband, he's not into sports either. And cars, he knows like an American, no cars, but he has no interest. So clearly that's why we were meant for each other, but he's not a typical American. He's like, he goes to Minnesota and feels kind of lost too. Anyway, it's just, I'm laughing because my mother-in-law always was telling me that that's the only things they ever talked about when she went home. Anyway,
Diane, excuse me, I don't know how to change it from Mary Jean listening to Mary Jean Ballner, just letting you know. I don't care, I don't want to learn.
No, no, but the last name is important, and thank you for noticing,
Okay,
for seeing it.
I'm using my,
With M or N?
and Nancy, I'm using my iPad so I can practice on the laptop.
I think you said N. I didn't, which did you say, N or M?
N is in Nancy.
I don't know, but is it ball with two L's or one?
Yes.
With two L's, okay, got it.
Okay.
I got it right first time, Bo. I know, but Ballmer wasn't that hard. Regin failed. That was like, whoa, I got that one. I can't believe it. Okay, so welcome to class, everyone, and we're going to continue on the quest of how to use our computers and all of the related devices. I got you to the place in contacts where you saw how entering information, how you enter it, where you enter it, how it kind of radiates to all these other apps. And then I showed you rather quickly on the computer, on the phone, how to do the same thing, but not like in depth on the phone. But I want to know, have people been using it? Have people entered? You know, the homework was go ahead and try to enter some people or try to connect from your contacts app to send an email, or from your contacts app to the maps, or from the contacts app. Did anyone do any of that? Any questions? Did it work? Did it not work? If everything's good, give me a yes. If you didn't try it at all, don't give me anything, because that means you didn't try. But if you had a problem, if something didn't work that you tried to do, give me a no. You got to get your little color thing going. Oh, there's one. Okay. And then you're long enough to stretch over to yours. Okay, that's a red though. Does that mean something didn't work for you, Rod? Okay.
Literally on my wife's computer, just set it up. I did take it to a time machine backup. Then we plug that time machine into her computer and let it just load it.
Okay. So Rod's saying that his wife has a new computer, and with a time machine, they set up the whole new computer for his wife. Yeah, and?
Right. So then everything was on it. And when I took photos, but that was the first thing you wanted me to
Of
see.
course.
I had all the photos.
Okay.
And I couldn't find photos.
All right. Well, photos. Okay. So Rod, it's not part of what we talked about the other day, but he's mentioning that after they installed the camera, the computer, they couldn't find photos. And I'm assuming it's the Photos app you couldn't find.
Insert photos.
Mm-hmm. And nothing came up. So here you would have to go to a Finder window. So let me do it on this. Let me share my screen so everyone knows what I'm talking about. And it's a quick answer. After that, we'll move on with today's. But the Photos app should, if it's a new computer, be on the dock. But you're not saying that. I mean, it's a new computer, but you reset it from a time machine. Now, what that means is that it would set up exactly like the last time you used it on your other computer. So if you had the Photos app icon on the dock, it would be on the dock. But if it's not there, you go to your Finder window and you go to Applications. And then there under the P, you should be able to find the Photos app right there. Okay. So, because it's an app, and then you can put the icon. So it's this little flowery thing. Now what concerns me is that you said you did a search. The question is, did you do a search here? You're pointing right now to the Contacts app, which means, of course, you wouldn't find photos in the Contacts app. So I'm not sure if that's where you did the search. I have a feeling it's just because you're pointing it now. And then there's two magnifying glasses. There's this one that's just for files, or there's this one up there, which is your entire computer. So do you know if you use the one way on the top right, like the spotlight? That's when you use. And you type the word photos, and nothing came up saying photos like that. Well, is it a laptop or is it
No, it's a desktop.
it's a desktop, so you can't bring it here. So then, maybe it was mistyped or where there's an extra space, who know, I don't know. So go ahead and just search this way. Go to the Finder window and go to Applications, and then there, you should be able to find it, or hit the launch pad, which is this little icon right there, which allows you to see all the icons and see if you can find the little icon with the flowery, because that would show you the icons for everything. Although I find it, so it's like this very colorful flower. Try any of those options to see if that might help. I don't know. So what I just did, you guys, is the launch pad, which is this little icon right there, which is also the key F3 on your keyboard. No, F3 is a different one. I'm sorry. That's mission control. F4 is a launch pad. And that kind of helps you see big icons of all your things. But the best way is to go to Applications and search there. All I can think of is that maybe your Spotlight didn't do a good search. The Photos comes with laptops, and if she had them before in her time machine, it would have downloaded. That's as far from here as I can help you. Yeah, so mainly the applications. So guys, I've stopped talking about the Finder window in this class because it's about files and applications, and everything we're talking about right now. It's a good segue. Everything we're talking about today in this class, not today, but all along Mac level 2, is about all of the apps that have to do with communications, right? Your mail, your photos, your mail, your contacts, in a way, your calendar, things that are not files. Not a single one of these apps creates a file. And I haven't really spent much time on notes yet, because in notes, you can do a lot of writing and it might seem like a file, but again, all of these apps are are self-contained, as in, if I create a note in the Notes app, it stays as a note. It's not a file. It's not a separate file. Does that make sense? I wouldn't go into my computer's Finder window, into the documents, and look for that note that I wrote. It would still be encapsulated in the Notes app. Does that make sense? And so even if I wrote a whole letter here to something or another, many times what happens to me is I'll have to, I'm on the road, I don't have time to sit on the computer and write something, but I'll have to respond a long message. So I'll open my notes on my phone and I'll dictate what I want to say into a note. Then I'll get in there, and you know how when you dictate, the phone sometimes understands things. I'll punctuate it, whatever. And when it's ready to go, I'll copy it from there and I'll paste it into my text or my email, and off goes the email. So I kind of use it as a place where in the end I write the things that later I will actually send off. But that's not a file. That stays a note, and once it's sent, I can delete that note. So there's so many ways to use a Notes app. The point I'm trying to make, though, is that none of that I do in any of these apps that I'm talking about. And let me go back down here. So the text, which is the Messages app, the Mail, Maps, of course, Calendar, Contacts, Reminders, Notes. That's kind of all the ones that get encompassed by all this. Do not create files that you would then find in the Finder at all. And the photos that the phone creates, if you put it in the Photos app, you wouldn't necessarily find them in the Finder either. Okay, it's like these are apps that hold all that information inside of a mail. Can you grab one of those messages that you got as an email and then turn it into a PDF, into a message? You can. Same with a note. Can I then turn it into a document? Yes, I can. But unless I do something special, then it just emails live in the Mail app as much as emails lived in the Gmail that you went before, or Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? They're not saved ever as an individual file on your computer. Now, if you receive a message, mail, that has an attachment to it, like, I don't know, maybe you have an accountant doing your taxes or something, and at some point they attach a document that then you download into your computer, that attachment is a file that ends up saved in your computer somewhere. Depending on how it comes, but say I'm going to open the Mail app right now, which is the one that brings attachments. In fact, hold on. So by the way, I'm noticing some people showing up as I'm letting you in. Let me open this up again. So Jackie arrived and someone else arrived in a little bit. Oh, you arrived in person, Susie. Thank you. I'm like, someone else. My brain recognizes people arriving, but I wasn't sure where. Someone arrived in person and some people arrived yeah, on the computer. So hi Jackie and hi Susie. All right, so let's get an attachment. And in fact, I believe one of the smart mailboxes that I demoed the other day was show me emails with attachments. And here we go. So here's an email. If you see an email that has a little paper clip on it, those are emails that have things attached, right? So if I go over here and I read this one, turns out that this is an image that is still downloading, but I guess that's an attachment. Let me go to one that's okay to show there. So here's a class. Where's here? This is abstract painting. So this is a class that I'm taking for the first time ever. I'm actually taking classes here. So excited! I'm taking an abstract painting class. Whoa, this is a very slow connection. This would be down. I don't know what's up with the system, because this is just a PDF that should be showing on my phone. It shows immediately. All of these.
I have no internet connection where I am.
Huh. Look at that. It's not even, it says downloading, but it's not downloading. But I do have a connection, because otherwise I wouldn't be on Zoom. That's interesting. So I'm trying to look, anything I'm finding I can't download. Okay. When for some reason all these attachments normally just pop in automatically, but the whole point is that I could just right click and say download, but that's not going to be available because it hasn't loaded yet. No, these computers are connected by cable. They're not on Wi-Fi. Okay. So what's that? Yeah, so you can right click, or there's a place up here where you right click, but I can't show you a single one because none of them are coming down, which is bizarre. This is a photo that someone sent me the other day in one of my photo classes. So someone attached this photo. See, there's a little attachment symbol to it. So I can download it in so many different ways. One way is to right click and say either save to the downloads folder, which is where you would put a report or a bank statement or something like that. Or you can just say export to photos and it goes straight to your photos app, which if you're downloading it because someone sent you the cutest picture of your grandchild, whatever, it's a photo that you're going to want to keep, send it straight to your photos app. But this in particular is a photo that we're going to be working on in class. So it's a photo that I teach this digital design techniques, where this is a photo she's putting in a brochure. So this would not be a photo that I want to pull up in my photos in the future at all. It's just for a brochure. It's just for a project. So this one I would save either to the downloads folder, and then, or I could just save straight into the folder of that class. So if I were to say save attachment, then it could, where do you want to save it? And I could go straight into the folder where I have the digital design techniques class, for example. And I'm going to call this one Moni, by the way, because it's Moni's photo, just so I remember. And I would save it there. Does that make sense? So you can choose to save it straight into the folder you've created, which we kind of learned during the first.
Oh, there we are.
Mac level 1, how you would create your folders already, and then when you save as into the right place, or I would just right click and save just straight to the downloads folder and move it into the right place from there, or I would export to photos. And if I export to photos, and that's all I do, then the Photos app opens and here it appears in my Photos app. Okay. It is in the hard drive in the pictures folder where I have the file called photo library, and all my 10,000 photos are in there. So, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but remember I told you that all of the files, like if I go into my users, there's the pictures folder, and in the pictures folder there's that photos library. That photos library can hold 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 photos, whichever. Now there is a way, and I don't even want to get in there, of getting into that to find the one photo, but that would destroy the whole cataloging system. So you wouldn't want to do that. You would want to get that photo from that Photos app, right? So, and that's where you would get it from. Does that make sense? But, so it is stored in your computer. That said, and when you take the photos class, those of you who are in the photos class, I'll show you how even those photos can be stored in your computer, or they can be only on the cloud or on your phone. Yeah, you can decide where it stays, but basically it depends on how full your computer is. If your computer is getting full, you only get like a small version, a version that's good enough to print an 8x10. In fact, it's not so small. It's just not the big old file. The big files stay in the cloud, and you get the, they call it like the previews down here, and you'll see in it just fine. And then you want to print it 4x5, 5x10, send it to social media. It's all good, except for when you want a really big print. Then you have to download it from the internet.
Rodney, would you please mute?
Okay, let me mute. I just muted Rodney. There we go. Thank you. You can download a Zoom meeting. No, not unless you, I record the Zoom meetings, so I can go download it, but you don't have access to it. I have access to it. I'm the maker of the Zoom. If you make your own Zoom with someone, you can record. They send you a link to a Zoom. Yeah, so when you click on that link, so when someone sends you a link to a Zoom, kind of like I do, it links you to a place where that Zoom is on the internet, but you wouldn't download it onto your computer. 4 hours of Zoom, it takes up an inordinate amount of space, and the last thing you want is to have it on your computer. You just use a link to get to it from either the Zoom company or the YouTube, which, by the way, I'm noticing now that YouTube didn't seem to kick out. You know, I told you it was going to kick out my latest video. And suddenly I'm curious to see it. I didn't get a message that it didn't. That doesn't mean that it didn't. Really curious to see. Kristen, and hold on, I need my two-factor authentication code from here. 274966. No, it's there. I never know when look at that. It didn't get, it's fine. It updated just fine. Yeah. And it's just that I never know really when it'll do it. It doesn't matter. You're not seeing it, but the video, the link I gave you guys in the class, in the class handouts, the link for Monday's class, I assumed was going to be one of the ones that they kick out. Like you've seen before that I tell you it's been kicked out. They didn't kick that one out. But I was blatantly showing the context, so I don't know. What can I say? The Zoom link that your teacher sent you, the link that I sent you went to your junk mail. So you just have to tell it it's not junk. So, so this is my mail app. Let me share this screen now. Stop this share. Let me share this one. So this is just review questions about things in the past. And so Susie is saying that my email or another teacher's email, you said, arrived to your junk mail. My email, the one that says Zoom link for today's class, this one, you said it got into your junk email. Okay, so you have something in your junk. Let me go to my junk and I'll show you based on something that's in my junk. So say I go to my junk. And if this is, let me choose one that I don't care too much to unjunk. Say that Steve Arnold is not junk, right? I could either look at over here when I selected it. This one's a harder one to find, but all these things out of the way. Give me a second here. I could either click on it and see how there's a button here that says not junk. Like I could actually select and say this is not junk. Or when I right click, I could just move it back to the inbox, which when you move it back to the inbox, that is saying, nope, this one was not junk. Does that make sense? No, once you do that, it might again, but after you do that, I thought sometimes one time is enough. Sometimes you need to do it 1 or 2 different emails and then it goes, oh, that email is not junk, like it learns. Does that make sense? Now, if this is one of the ones that that has been created as like sometimes the emails come in yellow, that means they think it was junk, and sometimes it's not. Like for some reason, I don't know why they make sometimes they make them yellow and sometimes not. But if this is again one of the ones they made yellow that they think is junk, it shows this little icon here that means it's junk. And then this one isn't. So maybe these are some that I was playing around with teaching you guys to put into junk. And so it doesn't have that icon. I'm not sure exactly when. Oh, that's when it is. I got it now. I got it because I clicked on this one. Once I click on it to read it, it went black. So it came in sent by them to junk is yellow, but the moment I read it, so I click on it, then after reading it, if I look away, see how now it's black? So that must be it. So once you kind of acknowledge it and leave it there, then it goes black. So that's what the yellow ones are. These are all arrived today. And so they just sent them. It just got sent there automatically. Okay. All right. So back to SPCC teacher. So there is a button here that if it's in my inbox, I can click on this and call it junk right there. Right? I can train the computer by telling them this is junk. But when I'm in the junk already and I select on something, it turns into not junk, right? It's the same button. It's just that now it's not junk because it isn't the junk box. Does that make sense? So you either tell it, nope, this was not junk, or you choose something that is junk and you tell it it's junk. Yeah, and I'm aware, by the way, that we talked quite a bit about this on a class that you missed. So if you can catch up on the recordings, I'm not that I don't mind answering your questions right now, but I don't want to go all the way to the end beginning because we did have a class, was it two classes ago or something like that? You weren't here, where we talked quite a bit about how to organize and put things in and out of places. But one thing I didn't share, I'm going to share my entire window right now. If you ever don't find something under the right click, or if you don't find something up here or something like that. So here I'm SPCC teacher, say Sonia Thompson is junk. There I can move to junk, right? I can right click and move to junk, or I can click on this little button until it's junk, or you can always go up to these windows when you don't find the right buttons, and these windows have everything. So over here, I can go to message, move to junk, okay? If I think it's junk, that it shouldn't be here. The issue is taking it out of junk. Once it's in junk, then either you tell it there that it's not junk, or you go again to message and you have to, there's no not junk, you just move it to where you want it to go. Does that make sense? Or you just drag it, by the way, I can just drag it into to the inbox again. And that is the same as telling it it's not junk. Does that make sense? Yes, Carol? Okay, great question. The handouts, okay, over here, when you go to the class handouts, that's Photoshop. Let me go to Mac class handouts. These that I have here, as you can tell, this is from Intro to the Mac, Mac level 1, Mac level 2. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, let me make this bigger. You always have to remind me to make this one as big as I can. Okay, so these 3 are from the beginning. Let me see, Intro to the Mac started September 3rd, right? So this link here, if you click on it, it's still available, and it will still be available. I never take them down from YouTube. I never take them down. What you need is this page. What's going to happen is so I have Intro to the Mac, Mac level 1, Mac level 2. The iLife classes are a different folder when I get to those. So these are the 3 that you're going to get in here. As soon as this class ends next Wednesday, this will stay available to you until end of January, February, when the next Intro to the Mac class starts. Right?
Oh, that's good.
But at some point before that class starts, I'm exaggerating. At some point before that class starts, I have to work on preparing the classes for the next session. At that point, I take these 3 off and I prepare blank ones, right? Like blank ones for the next 3 classes. So if you lose these links, you wouldn't have a way to get to the icons again. So I recommend when you open these guys and download them to your computer, okay? Or don't even open them. Go from here and right click and download them. Download, 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 all 3, and you will have the links for as long as you ever want. The only ones that won't stay is when the recording, and it hasn't happened yet on this one. Did it happen on the Intro to the Mac? This one. So when YouTube removes a video because it thinks that I've been bullying because I've shown something wrong, they keep it on Zoom, not you, Zoom. I have to give you the link to the Zoom company. The Zoom company leaves it for 14 days past the day of this class. So September 17th is much more than 2 weeks ago. So this video won't be available for you guys. Just that. Only those that happens to, because when you click on this link, Zoom has already taken it down. But from YouTube, I don't take them down. Does that make sense? So the only ones not available anymore are the ones that, for some reason, YouTube didn't carry. But it hasn't, that's the only one this time. Sometimes it's 2 or 3. They did it to one of my Photoshop classes for no understandable reason, because there's nothing private there. No, there was someone at the beginning was asking me how to get into their account, their video, and I had to go into their private SPCC information, and suddenly the whole Photoshop video was unloaded because of that. Anyway, for that one, I went and I could cut that little bit off because it happened at the beginning, and then they allowed it. But so anyway, normally there's more, like there's in this Mac level 2, there's usually 1 or 2 that they don't let out. But anyway, yeah, but it's working. So yeah, I just tested it and there it is. They did it. To find it via YouTube is a little bit harder because these links are private, so the search won't pull it up. But you can look for me, or when you get to YouTube, if you want to subscribe to me, which again, I don't do this for subscribers. I never say that. So as you see, I have very few subscribers. I don't need people to subscribe to me. It's not like my channel is anything important. But if you do subscribe, then you'll be able to find me under your channels you're subscribed to. And if you do that, then you'd be able to find all my videos. Yeah. But this wouldn't be searchable because I don't, these are, see how it says unlisted? So they are not, they're not going to show up. If someone searches for Photoshop, my Photoshop classes won't show up. For Mac classes, my classes won't show up because the idea is that I keep them private to just for the people in the class. But if you were to go to my account as Diana Musaki or whatever, then I have 909 videos there, as you can see.
Wow.
Which is, you know, at 5 to 7 videos per week for all the 16 weeks, 3 times a year. There's a lot of videos up there. And I don't take them down. So, but then you'd have to find amongst all of those, the one from the class that you took, right? So the best way is to have these here of the class that you took or that you missed that matches with where you're at. Because not always, this is the second class of Mac level 2, match what I teach one class might not be exactly the same thing that I teach on the second week of Max level 2 the other time. You download this page, not the videos. You download this page, okay? Yeah, so you go to the heart, you know, and you might be seeing it as like this, as little previews, or you might be seeing it this way. I don't know. It's just a matter of seeing it as a list or as icons. But this is the Google Drive, the shared drive. And you can right click and download this one. And let me do that right now. I'm going to download this one, right? And then that'll be in my downloads folder. So when later I want to review it, I would just have to go to my Finder window, to my downloads, and then I would find it there. And is it still downloading? Yeah, it's still downloading. And there it is, Zoom class recording links, Mac level 2, fall 2025. So now this is a file in my computer, okay? Yeah. You can do everything. You can do a lot more than you can on a regular mouse, on a Magic Mouse. But if you've tried to right click on it and it doesn't right click, that means you need to set it up. So in the system settings, you would go down to your mouse and you would make sure that the secondary click is turned on. If it says off, secondary click off, then I can't right click. You would have to make sure that you tell it to click on the right side, and then that's your right click. When you first buy it, you need to enable it. That is. Okay, all right, lots of good questions. Any other good review kind of question like that, you guys? Anyone from home who has something they want to know that's not like reviewing an entire class, but it's just a pointed some kind of something? Nope. I actually need to move the gallery. Wow, my Zoom is kind of freezing. Hello?
Oh,
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
But over here, let me stop my share. There. Okay. I can view. Gallery. For some reason, the gallery isn't allowing me to put you separately right now. Okay. Cool. Normally I can separate the speakers from the users, but you guys had been in this computer and this monitor, I had you frozen. All right. Yes. Rod?
Just set off an explosion in my mind. Said, take the download folder. That was something. It said put it in download. And all of a sudden, I'm going, wait a minute. Diane just telling us that we can take anything that we can grab that will travel to the download folder and do that and have it permanent. It's now in the basement of my computer, whatever it was that I put into download. That what it's now doing.
Yeah. So if I'm online and I click on any, so this is the internet. This window I'm showing you right now is the internet. The Google Drive is on the internet. If I click and let me go to the next one. If I click and download this from the internet down, so forms, pictures, in this case, documents. Do you want to allow downloads? I'll say okay. And then that file that just kind of physically went, you saw it kind of go, I don't know if you saw it. I'll do it again to this one. Watch how it's going to go, and it's going to point itself there. Watch. You saw that? It's diving into this folder here, which is my downloads folder. When I go and see the downloads folder, there it is, all 3 of my Zoom recording links, which no surprise they're labeled with that space in there because I'm trying to get them to, you know how I told you that it's alphanumeric. So how many spaces it has gives it more of a priority. So I'm trying to have the Mac level 2 be on the top. So it has 2 spaces in front, 1 space in front, no space in front. But anyway, that's forcing them to stay at the top. But in your computer, they come down like this. And so this is the intro to the Mac, Mac level 1, Mac level 2. And there it is. It's like you said, in the basement in my downloads of my computer. Now, if I made, and during the class, if I went and made a folder in my documents folder called class files, like I asked you to make, then that would be a good opportunity to put these in the class files. Take them from the downloads, right? Not leave them there, but these are things I want to be able to access later. And I can just bring them into my documents folder. And I can, and right now I'm going to just drop them straight into the documents folder. And then there they are. So instead of leaving them loose, I can just select them and put them in the Mac classes folder. And now here I have my Zoom links for Fall 2. And they'll be there forever, because if you take this class next year, you'll have the new ones, but you could always go back to, oh, she explained this really well a year ago. I'll go to that one. I don't expect you guys to watch these videos much, but can you? I mean, go back and watch them. Yeah, and you can take down notes of whatever happened.
We locked you in the basement.
But I'm always up in the sky in the internet. Without locking me down, you can always go to the internet and I'll always be up there in the sky. I'll always be up here. This is my channel. These are all my videos. There you go. I have 909 videos. I didn't know.
Oh,
That
boy.
was, okay. Yes, Sue?
Yes, when you do download those, does recaps also get downloaded?
Does the what get
The
downloaded?
recaps, the,
Yeah, if I go to these files, which I now moved, so let me go to the documents folder here. When I double click on this and open it in my computer, it opened up as a Word. Oh, that's interesting. It downloads as a Word document. If you don't have Word, you can open it in Pages. I've never downloaded it myself. So here's the link to the recap. Here's a link. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I forgot that I had stopped the share. Okay, so let me show you again. When I go to my files, right, Finder, I want to watch one of the reviews, want to read one of the recaps, I'll double click. Let me go to the oldest one so you can see how even the oldest ones, this is the
Right.
intro to the Mac right there. I'll go to the intro to the Mac, September 3rd, and I can either click on this to watch the video or I can click on this and this takes me to the internet again to the
okay,
recap because the internet, the recap is on the internet and the video is on the internet. So if I click on that, it takes me to the internet again, to the video.
because if I'm looking for a particular subject that I missed or need to review,
Yeah,
I can do it off of the recap.
you can do it off the recap. Yeah. So
Okay.
these links take you to the videos on YouTube. This takes you to the recap, which is in the Google Drive, but not in a shared drive. It's in a Google Drive of mine. And I individually shared that document with everyone. Okay.
Thank you.
As long as I don't remove it from the internet, that link works. And I have never removed any of my video to YouTube from the internet. And the same with these I started doing only a year ago, around this time, around November last year, is that this became an option in Zoom that it did an AI summary. And so November, I was trying it out. And then as of January, so basically all my spring classes, my summer classes, and now my fall classes all have this summary in them. It was a new tool, so I tested it out in November, December. So some of those classes have it, don't, but for sure, anything I've taught in 2025, I have a summary. And again, I'm putting them in a Google Drive that's shared with you guys. And it's just shared to anyone who has a link. That's how I share it. Anyone with a link. So if you have the link, you can get to it. If you don't have the link, you can't. Okay? So in that sense, it's private. If you were to send this file to someone else who wasn't in the class, they could get to it, but please don't. These are for us. Okay? Yeah. A lot of the hesitation to being recorded is people thinking, oh, they're going to be on the internet for anyone to see. And no, they've already seen you in class. It's the same people who saw you in class who will watch these videos. So it's private amongst us. It's not private to just you. Because yeah, you're going to see the same person asking the question and you're like, oh, I don't want people to see me the question. No, these are not like viewable by the internet. They're viewable by us. Okay. All right. Thanks for asking that, Carol. I kind of assume that's clear because it's been so long that I've been doing this, but it's also a good one to explain each time that how, that these are there forever. But again, forever, only for the people who have the links. Only the people who download those files before the end, before I take those files down, because that's the whole point. Those files I will delete, and I'll start with blank ones in January when we start with the next group of people. So that's the lifetime of those 3 documents. That said, I have, for the most part, kept those documents in another folder of mine. So if you were to say, I took your class in spring of 2024, and if I have nothing to do, and you'd be very specific, I need the class from October 3rd, what's the chance you'll do that? I could go in and find the link of October 3rd, but for the most part, I'd rather you keep that and not have to. I can go into the bowels of all my stuff and find it. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm going to move you guys, make you guys a little bit smaller so I can see some of this screen. And I did say, I still see that the video of you guys is blurred, and I keep saying I'll talk to tech support about it, but there's so many things that don't work that I haven't ever done that yet. Could someone send me a video? Sorry, a video. An email saying class camera is blurred, call tech support, and then I need to write a trouble ticket, which takes a while, but I'll tell them that that one is blurred. And what's the name of this one? It's see, that's the thing. I'm at home and I don't remember it because I have two cameras here. It's both are Logitechs. The one pointing to the class. Okay. Camera is blurred. See if they can come in. I don't know how it doesn't have a focus feature. Okay. All right, let's go on then with today's class. And what we're going to do is we're going to start. Let's work with a calendar. I was going to start with notes, but let's work with the calendar because the calendar is pretty crucial as well. So let's open the calendar and then we'll get to notes. I'm going to share my screen. And as usual, we'll start on the computer. And here's my calendar. Now, when you first go to the calendar, you might or not see your calendar this way. In fact, I'm looking at people as they're opening it here, at least Gigi, and for hers, it's opening looking like that. Let me just imitate like this. This is how yours is looking, right, Gigi? Yeah, it's in day mode. Is that how yours is opening up too, Carol? Okay, so for Carol, when she first opened it up, it's looking like this with a month. I don't know, Rod is looking at it as a week. As you can see, there's these words up there that I'm flipping through. So how you open it up and see it could be any of these. So go ahead and cycle through those 4 to practice, first of all, seeing that you can see the same information in 4 different general views. Okay.
Wow. It's cool.
And yeah, so I avoid the day view, although of course it's the one that gives you the most information. Because the way I work with my life, I like the week view to be my default because I want to look ahead a bit to see what's coming. Now, if someone who has, 10 appointments a day, like imagine a doctor's office where every 15 minutes someone's coming in and they need, so clearly it makes sense to have the day view where you're really checking in, okay, who's coming next, who's coming, that kind of thing. So the day view would have a lot more information. But the week view seems to be my default setup that works for me. Whenever I need to look ahead to see 3 months from now, I can go to month view. But when I'm in month view, see how this is not very helpful to me. In that it's lots of like, I get one word in and then I can't really look at this until what's happening next. Now, if you don't have much going on and your calendar is pretty empty, the month view might help you to look and see, oh, in 3 weeks, I have something going on. But when you have a lot going on, it's almost too much. Now, this little round blue, red circle around the number 29 is pointing to today, right? And if I want to move to the next month, I would go over here on the far right where it says today, and there's an arrow, and I would move 1 to the right. That's now I'm in November. 1 to the right. Now I'm in December. Okay. 1 to the right. Now I'm in January. Now, if I want to go back to today, I just click this middle button here that says today, and boom, I'm in today again. Now, same thing with year. If I'm looking at the year, I now go to that same set of arrows and I click to the right and it goes from 2025 to 2026. It moves 1 year. See, now it's 2026. Now I click again. It's moved to 2027. So these arrows move one of whatever setting you're in. Now I'm all the way in 2028. So now I hit today again to come back to me right now. Does that make sense? So these arrows take you one of whatever view you're in. So if I hit the week view, then this arrow takes me from today, there it is, the 29th, to next week and next week and next week. Does that make sense? Or if I'm in day mode, then this will take me to tomorrow, the 30th, the next 31st, 31st. So these arrows take you back and forth, one of whatever view you're in. And the today always takes you back to today of whatever view you're in. Does that make sense, you guys? All good with that at home? Whoops.
Yeah.
Again, you have to remind me here at home, you guys, here at school. Remind me to make this big because I forget to notice that it's small and there's no need for you guys to see it small. Okay, so now I'm going to stop in this mode, in week mode. And notice that I can scroll up or down and I am seeing things from, for example, 6 a.m. right now, if I move all the way down to 6 a.m. and it takes me all the way to, there's a, to 6 p.m. So it's 12 hours, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. If I scroll up a bit more and I start seeing at 11 a.m., it goes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Does that make sense? It has a breadth of 12 hours worth of seeing as I scroll up and down. Yeah, I want everyone to try this out. Do this and move the mouse around. Do you want to open the calendar here and check it out? So click on the calendar right there. For now, just go to this one and then we'll try again. So you got all the home stuff. You talked to Apple. Okay, good. So for now, click on week, which is where we're at, and then move this up a little bit more so it's not hiding under your, not bigger, but click there. Yeah, click there and drag up because I want it to get out from under your dock. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so just the stuff that I'm doing right now of moving up and down. Okay. So as I said, over here on the left side, you see the time, and it's always a span of 12 hours. You can change that if you want it to be bigger or smaller. But then over here, there's a red line that says 2:05 that goes through, and that's exactly the time it is right now. So today is Wednesday 29th, and we are here almost right there at 2:06, okay? Now, for those of you who have a mouse that can move sideways or a touchpad that can move sideways, I could click, like drag sideways, and I'm moving over to next week. You see that? Like I could go like this to the right or to the left. So I don't know. I'm seeing at least Rob and Phil aren't watching. Can you look at the screen for a minute? Look at my screen, you guys. Rob. So it's showing me Sunday through Saturday. But if I wanted to see Monday, I can just drag sideways and there's Monday, you know, like I'm not stuck to week. If I do this, it goes from Sunday to Monday, Sunday to Monday, Sunday to Saturday, sorry, Sunday to Saturday. But if I move sideways, then I can kind of move it to wherever I want. Does that make sense? Now, this only works if you have a Apple mouse that moves sideways or if you have a touchpad that you can move sideways. But if you have a PC mouse, it doesn't move sideways. Then you're stuck with right arrow, left arrow, left arrow. But you guys on laptops can do this, or you guys with Magic Mice can do this, the sideways thing. That's one of the, I do so much sideways scrolling, I would die without a Magic Mouse on my desktop that I have at home. On my laptop, I just do that, right? Which is 2 finger downs, gently moving up and down, or up and down. 2 fingers, gentle 2 fingers that you scroll up and down. On the mouse, it's 1 finger up and down or 1 finger sideways. On the Magic Mouse, for those of you who have a Magic Mouse, it's 1 finger for the mouse. For laptops, it's 2 fingers to go up and down, okay? I don't want to get you dizzy, but I'm doing like, driving you crazy. But when you hit the today, it goes and it sets itself between Sunday and Saturday, okay? Now that's the default. In Argentina, as much as our time is what you call military time, same with the calendars. Our calendar starts Monday and ends on Sunday. We don't, this whole like Saturday, Sunday on one side, like we believe in our vacations, I guess. I don't know, because the weekend is there to enjoy, not a little bit here, a little bit there. I kind of laugh, but that's how I say it. It's like, we actually go Monday through Sunday. And what if an Argentinian picks up this computer? And our dates, by the way, are also like, instead of October 1st, it's 1st of October, right? So how we write the date. So you guys might have experienced that in Spanish, not just Argentina. Okay. So can we change these things? None of you guys seem to be in that situation, but just to show you how changeable things are, and I'm going to go and share my entire screen. Every app can be modified to your taste. We've said that before, right? So you can go to the calendar settings and you can say, I want to start the system on Saturday, for example, or start my week on Monday. Or right now, the default is that my day starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 6 p.m. That's the default for people. Normally that's right. Well, that not so right for me. My day doesn't end like today. I'm teaching till 9 p.m. right here. So if I say 9 p.m. and I want to still see, maybe I want to see 14 hours at a time, for example, and now I'm seeing 14 hours at a time over there. Does that make sense? So you can play around with what I'm going to go back to what the defaults are. Maybe your day starts at 5 a.m. and you're done after 5 p.m. You don't plan anything. So you set that up. Does that make sense? So you set it for your life. I'm going to always go back to the defaults because I want to have them in whatever for teaching, but you make it work the way it works for you. Okay. And remember how I told you that in the contacts app, you had you write in the person's birthday. Well, it'll show up in this show birthdays calendar. That's where it's showing up, or show holidays calendar, that kind of thing. Yes, Sue.
How do I get rid of stuff?
I'm not in that mode yet. Hold on. I'm still showing how to adapt the app to your preferences. So we're not yet adding or getting rid of appointments. Give me a second with that question. One more thing, accounts. So remember how the accounts where we saw before internet accounts was in the system settings. So this is review again. Go all the way to internet settings. This is where we went and set up our accounts, remember? And in these accounts is where we said whether we wanted to see the calendar for those accounts. So I have the calendar for SBC teacher turned on. See over here, it's turned on. I have my pipeline calendar turned on. I have my iCloud calendar turned on, but I do not have my junk email calendar turned on, for example. If I were to turn it on, then I would be seeing that calendar. If I have it off, I won't, okay? So now, moving away from system settings, in each app, you can always go to accounts again. So if I go to accounts, here are the same 4 accounts and whether I am seeing their calendars or not. For a lot of people, you don't need many calendars. But for those of you who've been using your Gmail calendar before, or like the pipeline is a Gmail calendar and your iCloud calendar, it's best to have them all visible because who knows, whatever you're making your appointments in up until now on your phone. So by having them turned on, it turns out that maybe you've been making appointments in your Google Calendar. Well, you see them through this. It's like the mail. If you're making them in your iCloud calendar, you see them through here. So you'll be basically same as we did with mail. You'll be seeing all your calendars in here. This is the app. Yeah. So I don't have it right now set up to view my calendars. All I have is my appointments. But who cares if I made this one in my pipeline calendar or this one in my iCloud calendar, which is my personal calendar, because I'm seeing them together, kind of like email. When I look at my email, I'm reading all my emails at the same time. It doesn't matter where they came from. Does that make sense? But if I want to see over here, this little button right there opens up the fact that I have a pipeline calendar, I have an SBCT calendar, I have an iCloud set of calendars. And if you actually notice, these yellow ones are set in my pipeline calendar. See how it lit up? And this one is set up in my personal iCloud calendar. So one point I'm making is unless you care, then it doesn't matter. I'm seeing all my accounts at once. Does that make sense? All my appointments at once. Who cares what calendars you've been using? So people go, I've been using my Gmail calendar all this time. Well, that's fine. Pump that into your account settings and you can see them through here. Does that make sense? Now this is for the past. For the future, you can keep now deciding to put them in your iCloud calendar or in your other calendars. It's up to you. So you're looking a little bit puzzled there, Gigi. What's up? Yeah. Okay, I'll check and see. But the way this works is that when you do see these, and I use these, but I don't think at a basic level, most people need to use this. In fact, Gigi's been using the calendar forever and hasn't even looked in there. So for the most part, it's not necessary. It's not like email. You might want to look at the emails from one thing at one time, emails from another time. And an appointment, it doesn't matter. I need to see them in appointments because I'm not going to make an appointment and not have seen my iCloud and then over make them. I need to see them all at once always. You know what I mean? You can't. Now, that said, when I am planning my classes, for example, I do turn all my other calendars off. I create a spread that I only see my classes to make sure that they make sense, that they follow each other at the right amount of time or whatever. And then I turn everything else on again. And what am I talking about? Watch. I do this. I turn these little eyeballs off of everything else, which right now isn't much because I'm seeing only a couple. And in my real calendar, I have things divided by exercise, health, home, work, whatever. But if I turn them off, then I can just plan my things, work, and then I'll go, okay, exercise goes there, or doctor's appointment go there. Now, I don't seem to have a doctor's appointment this week, so when I turn this one on and off, nothing's showing up. But, oh, there, wash the dog. Was that? Yeah. So that's what I like about it. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. I have a family time one, color coded stuff. But that said, and so this is my pipeline one. So if I turn off pipeline, then it looks like I have nothing to do. In my real calendar, I have a lot of things I do on my personal life that aren't here in this one that I'm sharing with you guys. But right now I just have basically my classes, as you can see. And then I have, I put this exercise here as a sample, wash the dog as a sample. We're going to do some appointments ourselves right now in a minute. So I don't care if you see this a lot or not. So that's all it took to see it, that little button. If it confuses you and you just leave them always on, that's good. Now, a couple of people have complained that they have like holidays 2 or 3 times. And that might be because you have the holidays turned on for each one of your accounts. So you might be seeing like, it's Halloween and you might be seeing Halloween 3 times. Yeah, so then over here at the bottom, you might have 3 different holidays icons turned on. So you could turn some of those off, okay? And if so, that might be the one reason to open that. But other than that, you might not need to. So you have 3 Halloween in 3 different ways. So this is the calendar. Click on this one. I don't know it. Can you click on that to see what that is? It's like it's a calendar. Someone's click on that. It's a public calendar that someone shared with calendar with you. And I don't know what it is. So ask your daughter if she knows what it might be. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Someone's sharing a public calendar. So since nothing, if you turn it on and off, nothing is purple right now other than Halloween. I think it's legit. Yeah, so if you turn that calendar on and off, and you would see what appointments are made with it. And right now, nothing seems to be. So just say done because you have it. So if you scroll back and forth and turn this on and off and nothing shows up, that means it's not really being in use. But leave it on in case it is. And then how about, okay, so you have Pipeline, iCloud, your Gmail, and you seem to have only one holiday. So that's interesting because, oh, and you have the Pipeline. Like, where do you have the green one? Click, turn off that for a second. Okay, so that's that one. And then holidays, oh, you have that one, holidays through Pipeline. So it's showing you the school holidays, but you have the ones that are coming. This comes with just the calendar. So that you can turn one of the 2 off. You choose. That's the school Pipeline one. Which is going to be covered by US. Yeah, and then you have another US holidays there, which is that one. And then your Gmail came with one too. So that's why you had 3. Right? So now you can have only one left. No, that's fine. All right. So if you were like what I just did with Gigi, she had each one of her accounts. Pipeline came with a school holidays. Her Gmail, her personal Gmail came with a US holidays. And then this one here, which is the basic holidays that comes in through Bean and an iCloud account. So she had Halloween 3 times. So you don't need to see that 3 times. So she just went and turned the other 2 holidays that came inherited by each one of the different calendars off. And now she sees only 1 Halloween. Does that make sense? No, for the whole year. So now when you go to whatever the next one is, Thanksgiving, is Thanksgiving a holiday? Yeah. Oh, here's Veterans Day, for example, or look at that, Day of the Dead, Daylight Savings Times, Election Day. I didn't put these in there. They came in with this calendar. You see that? But if you had the other calendars turned on, you would be seeing 3 election days or 3 daylight saving times or 3. So if you're so here's Veterans Day. I'm seeing them only once because this is the only one I have turned on. See? But it accounts for all the holidays in the year. Okay. I don't think that's a holiday, is it? No. I mean,
I'm not hearing her. Anybody else lost her voice?
Just lost her voice too.
Okay.
Deanna, we can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you couldn't hear Phil's question. I was like, hang in there. I'm listening to this, but you couldn't hear me. So Phil was asking a question right when you said I can't hear. So I thought you were saying you couldn't hear Phil's question, but it was me who couldn't hear. So I kept talking. Okay. Phil was just saying that there's 4 things he knew should be here that he couldn't find. And then he noticed they were up there. So I was about to talk about those. So see, when you don't put a time on something, it goes up there in the all day. So like, this is a reminder set up for me by people here at school, and I'll tell you how that works. They just reminding me that every 30th I have to submit some stipends or whatever. So, but they don't care what time, that's the day I need to submit it. So it appears over there. Or the fact that it's someone's birthday appears over there because there's no time. It's not like it's a birthday party. Same with Halloween, right? It's just things that when you say that day I'll be in Miami, if you don't say what time, then so you're setting it apart. And so now when we make some appointments, we can make some appointments that are called all day. They end up at the top. Now, when I scroll up and down, they're always at the top. It's not like they disappear from you. They're always there. Okay. And they are just all day appointments, which sometimes people make as reminders of things. We also have the reminders app that we're going to show you in a minute, but not in a minute. We'll still finish with calendar, but later we'll be seeing the reminders app and you'll see how it appears over here as well. All right. So right now, let me show you the only reason I do like to show this calendar here, so that if you want to show it or not, it's up to you. But I'm going to show it to you for a minute. I'm going to click on it, that little button, to show this sideways, this sidebar, because what I like to do is I like to see a few months ahead of time. I'm always planning my classes. I'm planning in, you know, like a year ahead of time. We have to plan the schedule, whatever, but many times someone here is like, okay, I need to do an evaluation next week. When are you free? Stuff like that. So instead of going to month, which doesn't work too well for me because I have so much stuff, and this is nothing. You should see my real one because my life is handled by alarms and calendars, right? I don't organize. I am not the most self-organized person. I need the calendar desperately to keep me on track. So my calendar is very full. So the month doesn't work for me. So I have week I live off of the week, but when someone says, can you do something, I don't know, next month on the 27th, I would go to the month and say, like, let me see, next month on the 27th, you know, something like that. I could do that. Or, and this is what I like, on this bottom side here of this view, right? See how it says October? I can grab this line, drag it up, and I like to see, now I see 2 calendar months. Now I like to move it up and see 3. That's kind of how I might have set up. So then I can go, what did you say? November 23rd? No, November 13th? Let me go, November 13th. Oh yeah, November 13th. Yeah, I'm free that day. Or what did you say? Monday oh yeah, no, Monday I can't. You know what I mean? So I use this to move around. That's about the time that someone says, can you do this in 2 weeks? Can you do this in 3 months? That seems about enough. So then I move quickly. Yeah, so let me just show you. At the bottom, it always says, shows you 1 month. So go to this line and click and just drag up. Well, you keep dragging. Oh, Josie's coming in. Let me go and see.
Go this line.
Move it up and let go.
Oh, I did.
Let go. So
Yeah.
now you got 4 in. So drag it down to 2. At some point you let go. So I heard someone at home make some exclamation. What happened?
I did it.
Oh, cool. Yay. Woohoo. All right. Hi, Josie, by the way. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Okay. So I'd like to see if everyone has done that, adding some days. I find it extremely useful to be able to just quickly go next week, the plumber calls. Right now we're making appointments to get estimates for tenting our house right now. So my husband's been calling, they go, can you do this day or that? And I'm like, let me see, hold on. Nope. Yeah. Nope. You know what I mean? I just kind of go like that. And it's just easier for me than having to do to that day, or in the month go to that day and then I can't tell. So then I have to go back into that day and then I go to week and then I'm in that week. And it's like, so I really like that. Okay. That's just how I like to do it. Hold on. Yeah. Well, I can't. No, and by the way, I completely understand that for some people the wall calendar works, and to this day, my mom has her, pulls open her book and pencils thing in. That didn't work for me, even when there was this not available. For some people, it never, because that implies opening it up and checking it and having space. And what if I need to move this over to make space for that and move this over to here? You can't. You're stuck with what's there. You scribble it out. You finish that day up. You need to put it. Never worked for me. I was the happiest person. I always say the day I adopted these tools was way before there was a phone or anything. A little electronic calendar appeared. I don't even remember its name. It was this little yellow thing. And I was the happiest person on earth. Like before anything else, I adopted the electronic calendar. So that's my first attempt at any digital thing that moved from, and I always laugh. And my husband, who, by the way, is an English teacher, is a really bad speller. And I bought him a little spell checker. So that was his first electronic thing that we got. And for me, it was the calendar. Like that was, the things that we needed, right? Yeah, we each had so he'd be at the board and I'm like, you don't want to be, if you don't know something, check it. Yeah, so I always laugh because I'm English as a second language, and I am like a perfect language. I mean, I'm a perfect speller, just automatic. Now that I learned it, and the same with my kids, by the way. My oldest kid, I mean, he's the writer, he's a screener, he's a film. He does not a good speller. My other guy, he began writing and he could spell correctly. It's like a thing. I think it's a thing. It's a brain. Yeah. Just like, yeah. Anyway, so he had a spell checker. I had an electronic calendar. So you can talk to me forever about the paper wall calendar. They look pretty, but they don't work for me. This works for me. Let me show you. If I now go, oh, I couldn't exercise today, but I'll exercise tomorrow, I can just drag it over to tomorrow. Now, since this was a repeating event, right? And let me just show you what I mean. I have it set up that every Tuesday and Thursday, I have, there's an hour walk in there, right? So it's a repeating event. So now I'm moving a repeating event, and are you going to change this one, or do you want always? And no, only this one. So now if I go to next week, it's still on Tuesday, Thursday. Does that make sense? Now I need that flexibility. I need flexibility in my life. Sorry. Yay, you just learned something. I love it when people say they learned something. Julie, your hand's been up for a bit. Sorry.
That's okay. I have two questions. One on your calendar where you were telling us on the sidebar that you can look at November. But how would you know you have something on a certain day?
Mm.
Right now, there's no mark on it.
No, I'll go and click on November 19th. Click.
Oh, I see.
Bring
Okay.
me to November 19th and I can go, oh yeah, I'm free in the morning. for example.
Okay. Got that one.
Nope, I can't between 1 and
Okay.
5.
Good.
How about December 2nd? I click on December 2nd. Oh,
Oh.
December 2nd, it would have to be after 10.
Okay.
That makes
Okay,
sense?
good.
Or after
My
11?
second question is on the left sidebar on my calendar. I have the sidebar and it shows exercise is blue. Birthdays or anniversaries are lavender.
Mhm.
However, for this month, October, where's my October? One of the birthdays just showed up green. What's happening?
So, depends on which calendar you put the birthdays. Like, see how my birthdays are gray over here? And then that birthday showing up as gray. So if you put that that date in through your contacts,
Yeah.
it would come in break time. See, I'm controlled by my alarms. Otherwise, not yet though. I'm going to finish this. So it comes out into my, if I turn, see how I have Wonder Woman's birthday and Jane Doe's
Right.
birthday? If I turn this little checkbox off, they both turned off. It's because I've turned off seeing them. Then they come out gray because that's the color of that one. So if yours is coming in a different way, could it be that you wrote it in yourself, that you called it? Like, see what color it is. Like you might have said, this is, you know, my friend's birthday, and it might not be the one that came from the contact. Go to your contacts, invent, go to Superman or whatever, one of the ones we've invented, Wonder Woman, and go ahead and say that her birthday is today, and let's see in what color it appears.
I mean, create a new contact?
Yeah, or go to the contacts and go to Wonder Woman. If you didn't you make Wonder Woman last class with me? If I go to Wonder Woman, there she is.
No,
And
I
if you
don't.
got rid of her, you got rid of her, then make a Wonder Woman and don't give anything else, but give her a birthday, right?
Okay.
For October 28th or 29th, just so that it appears in this week. And that's it. You don't need to give her anything else. And then you should be able to see the birthday appear. If you give it a year, like I did for Wonder Woman, then she's 105 years old. But Jane Doe, clearly I just said that it was her birthday, and so I don't know how old Jane Doe is. In the calendar, I created a person called Jane Doe. So I'm going to go to Doe, and it looks like I have her. And I said that her birthday was October 31st. So the calendar automatically wrote Jane Doe's birthday on the 31st. I did not write that in there. The contacts book sent that information to my calendar. Now, if I were to have put in here an appointment saying it's Carol's birthday and I do it myself, it won't be there in a year unless I tell it repeat every year. I could, right? And that would mean that it didn't come through the contacts, rather I made it. And if you made it and you tell it repeat once yearly, it will be there once yearly forever. And it's just me who made it. Okay.
It only came through in gray in little tiny font.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen for a
Yeah.
second so we can
Mhm.
explore this a little bit?
Yep. I can.
So hopefully you guys go make a Wonder Woman. If you didn't make it last class, when I say do these things, we keep using them for the class. So please make these things so that we can use them. All right, so go to, so here you have, let me just stop you for a minute.
Mhm.
Before you go anywhere else, I'm noticing that you have 2 real birthdays here, and you had 2 up here too, if you scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
Scroll, no, in the other direction when I say down there. Stop there. Oh, here. You have 2 of Ardith Hadley's and 2 of Magley and 2 of these. So it looks like you have 2 birthday calendars set up in one way or another. So hold on. You moved to the side. I need to move this out of the way so that I can see. Okay. So let's grab these down, pull these days down so we can see all your calendars again. And let's see what's happening. So can you grab this from, you know how we just drag this up to see 3 months? Yeah,
What's that?
drag it down so that we can see, yeah, grab it from here and drag it down again so it's out of the way. Yeah, keep going, keep going. I need to see all your existing calendars. Keep going, keep going. Okay, so now you have, you can go all the way down and disappear them completely because I need to see what's here on your side. Or
Here? No.
no, let me just get rid of all the other pink because that's from before. I'm talking about this. I want to see all these calendars. So can you keep scrolling up and down so we see all the options? Okay. Is that where it stops? It doesn't
No,
go any
I-
further down than this? Okay. So, and then I'm seeing you have a bunch of different accounts. You have 1, 2, 3 of these. You have iCloud and now go up, 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 up for a minute here. And you have this birthday, which is turned off. Okay. Is that it? Nothing else up higher? Because I don't even
No.
see the regular birthday. So go up and down, down again.
There's
Where
one
it
of my
says
mail
other, it
accounts.
says other. There we go. You still had more to go. Keep going down, down. You still had more there. So this is the one that comes from your contacts. Go ahead and turn that. Let me look at this and turn that one off for a second. Turn this checkbox that says birthdays, turn it off. And there you go. See how one of your repeats that you had there and
Yeah.
there, and there you had 3 people there. They all turned off. Now turn it on again. Those are the
Oh,
ones that come from the calendar. This one came only from the calendar. See, it has like a little birthday gift.
yeah.
Where are the others coming from? So go ahead and start this. You have 3 with the same color, so it's hard to distinguish where these are coming from. Go ahead and turn on and off these check marks and we'll see which one else turns off.
Well, I wouldn't have anything from
Not there.
Pipeline.
Okay, go to the next one. Okay, now turn it on again, on and off so that we don't lose. Yeah, and then there, that one, turn it off. So in this account, you have other,
Oh,
a bunch of stuff, like a lot of your appointments were in there. Turn it on again. You have a ton, all your appointments are pretty much in this account. Can you tell that when you turn it off, they all disappeared?
yeah.
So in that Gmail was where you've been making your accounts up until now. And thus, at some point, you wrote in Debbie's birthday and Magni Land's birthday and Adrian has his birthday. So now the question is, in that account, either turn it off from here so you don't have, although this one is only under the iCloud account, right? But anyway, the other question is, does it bug you too much? Because let's say we go to the week. Let's go to today, to the week. And now scroll down a little bit because so
It doesn't,
you're not in today, you're in September 2025. Go to today. Click on today here.
oops.
Okay. So you have 3. Look at that. Not even 2. You
Wow.
have 3 versions of
Yeah.
of birthday. I was going to say how much does it bug you to have 2? It doesn't matter. But you have 3. So now this one is one of them. We know. Go over here and turn this one off again. Oh, there's 2. 2 come from there. Turn it on. Do you have her contact in there twice? Yeah, that's the other question. And that's one thing we didn't finish in the contacts, how to get rid of duplicates. That's something I left unfinished. So maybe you have her contact in there twice, which is why turning off this one turns off 2 of them. And
Okay.
then the other one comes from this one for jmorejen@gmail.com. Okay.
Okay.
So let's
Okay.
go. Let's do this in a minute. I know it's time for break, but when you come back, I'm going to show you how to get rid of or merge duplicate contacts, and then we'll see if that gets fixed. Okay.
Should I leave my calendar on then or?
No, because we're going to have to first figure out how I'm going to stop your share. Going to have to go and do the whole contacts thing first
Okay.
to then be able to see if that's what it is, which is one of the things I wanted to finish in contacts anyway, the duplicates. So, so that's good. A good reason to to stop and we'll open contacts, and when we come back, we'll deal with contacts.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so let's see, what time is it for break? And by the way, I haven't been checking the chat. So if anyone hasn't yet written in the chat, please go ahead and write in your chat. I noticed that I had not written in the chat. And so, hi there, say me. And now I'm going to say be back at, could somebody figure out, please, 15 minutes? What's that? At 2:53 p.m. All right, see you guys in 15.
Thank you.
And don't forget to tell Siri to be back in 12, okay? So, hey Siri, set timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, starting now.
And I'm going to mute everyone. All right, we're back. Can you hear me? Now, you guys are there, but my people, if you look at the room, it's empty. I need to go call them in. I don't know what's up. Guys, come on in. Did you call everyone in? I just turned the heater. I just turned the air off. Again, the fluctuations might start, but it's so cold. You guys, I know I don't know how you guys are feeling at home. I was freezing in here. We're all freezing in here because the air turns on. So, and we just went out for break, and outside it's so hot. We're cold in this room. All right. So did they hear us that the class is starting again? Let me just go and yell again because they're out there chatting. That ringer bell and ring it. That's a good one. Yeah. I'm gonna go and ring out the door. Ding, ding, ding. They looked at me and they laughed. Okay, let's keep going. All right, I can't get these in-person people to be serious, man. All right. So let's go ahead and Barbara, are you there? You said I was trying to do something on your Mac and it could not. I wrote it down and now I can't find your notes. Oh, so sorry. I can't help you if you can't find
Oh,
your
I know. I'm having a horrible time. I'm still sick and I can't think.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. I'm sorry you're still sick. It'll come back, and if it doesn't come back, then whenever it does come back.
When I go to try to
But
do
here's
it
the
again.
thing, I'm going to be teaching you how to use the Notes app in case you don't use your notes. This is a good reason because yes, I totally hear you. I can't find my notes whenever I put a note on a piece of paper and then I need to use it and I'm at school and the note is in my desk or in my room or in the kitchen. But as long as it's on my Notes app in my phone, I could always find it. So when we get to the Notes app, I'll show you that. But for now, I want to actually go over to the Contacts app where I left one thing undone, which was to join duplicate contacts or merge duplicate contacts. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. So when you have your all contacts turned on, and hold on, let me move this over so that you guys don't have to be seeing. Hold on, I'm just making them bigger so people here at school can see all as much as possible. Yeah, I'm gonna make this. I'll go Command plus. It's as big as it can be. Why? The top, like that, you mean? Why is there a shine or? Yeah, there is a good. Like. Oh, a glare. Oh, let's just turn the lights off. Carol, can you turn the outside? I think we discovered was it the middle one off? Can you try again and see what Gigi says? Is that no? Look over here. Is that better? Maybe try also the one that's nearest to us. That's better. As long as you guys can still see your keyboards. Can you still see your keyboards? Otherwise, we can open some of the window lights. Okay. There's a reflection on the board here. It didn't used to happen, but now that the lights are down, maybe what we can do is open some of these lights when some of these curtains when they come in or something so that you guys can see better without the top lights on. Okay, so so back to the Contacts app. So when you have a contact repeated in multiple places for whatever reason, then over here on the left, since I'm seeing all my contacts, I would see them twice. Yolanda, Joaquin, Nathan, right? And so on and so forth. Like I have 3 John Does or Jane Does or something like that, right? Now I can't fix mine because if I fix mine, I don't have a repeat for next time I teach, but I'm going to show you how to see them, right? So let's head over here to the top where it says card. And there's 2 choices. First, I'm going to say look for duplicates. And for those of you who have an older computer operating system, this didn't exist. I believe though, Julie, in Ventura, you do have it, right? Even if it's grayed out, because maybe you don't have duplicates right now. Oh, but it's the whole point was your calendar. Do you have the choice of look for duplicates in yours?
Is it under, what is, under view or card?
Under view, under card, sorry.
No. Oh, yes, I do.
You do have it, okay, because I don't remember what operating system. I thought it was newer. It's from Mac. Monterey didn't have it, but Ventura has it. Okay, so I'm going to click on look for duplicates.
Okay.
And be careful because there's going to be 2 choices given to us. See how there it says merge versus look. So I'm going to click first look for duplicates.
Yeah.
Mine says 4 duplicate cards and 1 duplicated entry was found. Now then it explains what's the difference. A duplicate card has the same name but contains different information. So maybe we put in Mark Jacobs' phone number on one and then Mark Jacobs's email on another one, for example, right? So it's the same name but 2 different. Now the problem with that, I don't know about you guys, but what if you know 2 Mark Jacobs or Mark Smiths, right? So you have to be capable with that. I personally don't know anyone of the first and last name are the same, but I have 5, I think I had counted 6, but one we haven't seen in a long time, but 5 people, friends of mine, are Mark and Nancy couples. Of course, once I say their last names, they're all different, so I don't have, but what's to stop that from being that I do have 2 Nancy Smiths or, you know, certain names I could. So just as long as you're careful with that, right, that some people do have the same name, then what you can do then is say merge. Now, if so, I also have 1 card here. It says I have 4 duplicate cards and 1 duplicated entry. So the next place, duplicate cards have the same name, contain different information. As long as you know that you don't have 2, you know, John Smiths, you're fine. And then it says, and there is a card containing duplicated information. So I have 2 of the same exact thing. Duplicated, like there's not duplicate information. Do you want to merge the duplicate cards and the duplicated information? So that's one that's telling me, depending on what you find, it might give you the same information or not on yours, right? Now, if I say merge, I'm going to have to create the other one again. So I'm not going to say merge right now, but you guys go ahead and say merge. And let's see if what it tells you. Because if there's another message, I'm going to have to then ask somebody to share their screen or something. Let me see. You have 12 duplicates. No, interestingly enough, that's the thing that's missing. Because like when you do this in the Photos app, they do show you the photos that they're duplicating. Here, they'll just merge them.
Some have more information and they'll leave the ones with the most information.
No. Oh, thanks for asking that. If something has more information than another, they're going to merge it. So say for John Smith, you have the phone, and for John Smith, you have the email. When they merge them, you'll have 1 John Smith with phone and email. So they will collect it. Nothing will drop out. They will just merge. So you will have all their phone numbers, all their addresses, all their emails under 1 contact John Smith. So it's all good unless they are 2 different people. That's the only time that it's not good. But if they're 2 different people, few times do we have friends that are exactly the same name twice. For most of the times, merging is good. Yes, hold on. Carol's hand was up first. Okay, yeah, I was looking. So can you guys hear me at home now with what I'm saying? So here's a different option. It says 5 duplicate cards and 3 duplicated entries, duplicate cards, duplicate cards and cards containing duplicated information were found. Do you want to merge duplicate cards and the duplicated information? And then she has a check mark that says that she hasn't checked yet, that says also merge cards that have the same name but contain different information such as phone numbers and addresses, because it's one thing to have one has the phone number and one has an email. But what if she has a phone number on both, but they are different? So when you say merge those, then now you'll end up with John Smith with two different phone numbers. And that's fine. Maybe one is old, one is new. They won't know. They won't say, oh, this one must be old, and toss it. They don't toss anything. They just merge it all there. It's up to you to discover which is the right one. Does that make sense? So I would say yes to merge, right? Yeah, because you want them to be merged and to find one only John Smith with all of his information there. Does that make sense? So now you shouldn't have any duplicate. Oh, I was going to say you have some here, but no, that's Jay and that's Jan. Okay, phew. I was about to point out a duplicate. You shouldn't have any duplicates left once you do that. That doesn't mean that you don't, because then there's also one other concept. So here you have two Bartolome's Alpizar, for example. So click on look for duplicates. 28 duplicates. Do you want to merge them? Go ahead and say yes, merge. And yeah, now you have only one Bartolome. Now click on Bartolome. And we should have clicked before, but maybe one had one phone number, the other one. No, see, this one seems to have the same number.
Right.
1867. Okay, so I'm looking at one that came up here with, yeah. So now what you can do is go ahead and edit and get rid of one of them. Because they're the same one. So click on one of them and get rid of one of them. And then over here, one was the full PO box, Carpinteria, United States, and the other one had it written wrong, like Carpinteria, California was under street. So click on that one, and then that one's correct. Okay, and now you can say done. So in the case, in photos, we have a merge duplicates as well. Yeah, in the Photos app. The class starts next week. Are you signed up for the iLife class? I'll be showing how to do the duplicates there. It's a bit different. So now, Julie, by the way, if you found duplicates and you merge them, go ahead now and try. It would have been interesting. What I don't like is it doesn't show you the ones, because then you can't go and check them, right? It's just like, come on, can't you just show them? Which they do in the Photos app. So I don't know why I can't pull it out. But go ahead and check and see, scroll up and down and see if you still see any duplicates. Okay, and now you have one. No, that's not a duplicate. That's two addresses for you. Oh, but it's not a duplicate. You're not here twice, right? You just have, they found that you have two accounts. Now, this seems to be the same address twice. So you can hit edit, and it was probably entered a little bit differently. So scroll down a bit.
I have no idea. Yeah, I am.
Hold on, scroll down. Yeah, you weren't here the other day, or you were here, but you didn't. So now these seem like they're exactly the same, but this one has this date seems to be in the right spot, and not this one. So delete this one. And now that one's correct. And if you look at your phone numbers, go ahead and move this over here so that we don't have to click from here. No, click from there and drag it over. Like click, when I say from here, I mean the empty area. Yeah, and then click and drag to the left. Dragging a bit more. Okay. And notice that this is the same phone numbers, but one does and one doesn't have the number one in front. The number one is more correct, technically, so you can get rid of the top one. So the reason I'm saying to check them is because the ones that get duplicated, if they were two different pieces of information, that's good. But twice now, someone in class has found one where it was the same address, but one address, for example, was missing the zip code, or they had written the California and state on the same level, on the same field, instead of having CA for state and 93105 for state. So then they appeared twice. Instead of merging them, the computer thinks they're two different ones because the different information is in a different slot. So then you just delete one of them. Does that make sense? Okay, Julie.
Yeah, I did, I did the merge because it said I had 3 duplicates or whatever. But when I go and look at the contacts, I still have duplicated.
Okay, so share your screen. And let's see what the duplicated ones might be.
And then I went back to see if I, had duplicates and it said no.
Okay, so let's see. I see over there.
See,
David
there are two
Wang a
here.
couple times and Jim Whipple a couple of times. So then let's click on view and with the phone number. Anyway, or maybe the calendar contacts hadn't yet updated itself, which is possible because you had just made the change. All right,
Okay.
Marta, your hand.
Thank you.
Hold on, Phil has a question, but Marta had been there for a bit longer. Yes, Marta?
Just a quick question. I've deleted a lot of old contacts that I don't need anymore. Does it hold it anywhere where I then need to clear them out?
No, I mean, technically, your time machine has it, but it's not like you can go into your time machine, go into the app. There is a way where you could go into the app, depending if the app's time machine contact still works the same, like say in 5 years, you want to go back to one of these places that you just deleted. If your contacts work so different that when you go to the time machine, it can't even open the contact that was old, then they're gone and lost forever. Otherwise, technically, they're there somewhere in your recording of today's, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Phil? No, I wish it would. So Phil's question is what I was saying. I wish it did. When you see look for duplicates, does it show you what the duplicates are and where they come from? No, I wish they would. That would be so much nicer, but no. No, that's the same answer. No, I wish they would. Right now, the only option is look for duplicates, merge them. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, for the most part, I haven't found it. Anyone who has ever done this, there's never been a problem. So basically, it was kind of the same question. Can you go and have kind of what I was saying that I wish it did from the beginning. I wish that when you went up to card, look for duplicates, it would show you the choices, right? It doesn't. It just says, here they are. And when you hit merge, it just merges them. So it would be so nice if it could show them to you, but it doesn't. So the only thing is that, to say the truth, I have not heard anyone here who has done it, and I've taught this for many years, say that anything went wrong. As I said, unless you know two Steve Arnolds, when it merges them, it should be Steve Arnold's information. It never loses it. At most, it duplicates it, which is what just happened to Rod, where it joined two people, but then it repeated the address, and it's because the address had been entered differently. One just said Carpinteria Street and nothing else, and the other one said 213 Carpinteria Street, California State, USA. So it left both. So it's not like you lost anything. It just left both. Oh, it doesn't replace information. Yeah, but before you had two Steve Arnolds and they both, so here I have Apple and I have Apple too, right? Here's one and one Apple, two different informations, right? How would I know right now either? If I went looking for Apple, I wouldn't know that they're wrong. Now, when I merge these two, I'm going to have basically that information, which is both. And it's still up to me to call and say, hey, do you have two numbers? Is one still valid? You know what I mean? If I click on Yolanda here right now, these two would just become one, no issue. But if I put these two, it will end up like that. And it's up to me to check in, hey, do you still have two homes, or which was your old one? But I wouldn't have known different before. I mean, what I'm trying to say, it makes no difference. If I have her twice, I still wouldn't know, oh, was the second one right? The first one right? Like I still wouldn't have known. Now they're all merged in one, and you still have to check in, are these two your numbers? But it wouldn't have known, you wouldn't have known when you're trying to call Mr. Apple which number to call because you still had two numbers for Mr. Apple. Here, I think these are all the same. Here, here's an example. I have Nathan Berry there and Nathan Berry there. If I right now had to call Nathan Berry, I'd be like, oh, which one's his right one? By the fact that if I join them, I would get them all in one. It's only helpful. And that if I still have to call and find out which one is your current address, which one is your first, like it doesn't make it more or less hard to have them merged as far as I'm concerned. Unless you know that all of the addresses that you had in this account are so old that they're probably the old ones, in which case you just turn off the account for those apps that you put in there 20 years ago and you see only the one. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, if you were on a piece of paper, you'd be having to copy the right one. You still have to contact and go. Or if it's someone you don't contact anymore, but you're not really up to never contact, because what if you need them once in 5 years, then you leave it all in there. And the day you need to contact them in 5 years, you just try them all and one will work, one. I don't see the negative in having it all condensed because if it's correct or wrong. That's me. But if you see that, then don't use the merge feature and go one by one and do select both, compare, say, oh, that and that, oh, that. Okay. So then, and this is what I mean. I would select this one and I would copy this email from there, take it over here and put it in there. And then I would go to this one and I would copy this address and I take in there. And by the time I have the right information all in one, then I would delete one of them. And instead of merging them, I would actually right click and delete this card. So then all the info is in there. But it's the same work as letting them do it. Unless I contact Nathan Berry to see which is the right one. It's the same work, except for I had to copy it in myself. Does that make sense? I would prefer them to be joined and then, because otherwise, how am I going to know right now other than contacting them? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nothing's stopping you from going. Yeah, nothing's stopping you from deleting. Yeah, nothing's stopping you from first reading them and right clicking and deleting the old one because you know it came from the old. I mean, you can do that way. I agree. From the beginning, I've said I wish they would allow us to preview them. They don't. And it's one of those things that you could send a suggestion in, and I don't see why they're not doing it. It would be better. Right now, at least it's better than not having 3 or something. But if it doesn't seem trustworthy or if you'd rather not do all the work. So here I have 2 different sets of emails for this person. As the way I would do it is I would just merge them. And the day I need to write through them, I'll go, hey, I have 5 for you, which is the right one. But if, as I said, like my Yahoo account, which I don't have connected right now, is ancient. I've had it at least 35 years because I know I had it when yeah. So those are probably really old, but I wouldn't want to lose them because maybe there's some people from Argentina, people I haven't been in touch with, but that I don't want to completely lose. So they probably have new numbers now, but I wouldn't want to lose the old stuff, at least in Argentina. Maybe their mom's still living there or their sister, you know, people there are more stable. So I'm going to still have it. So anyway, what ultimately you can do is just turn on search only that account, which has your old stuff, right? Look for these people. If this is the account that has all your old stuff, go, ooh, Nathan's in there. This is probably the old stuff. Let me delete Nathan from here. And then when I see the next one, Nathan, I'll know it's from the iCloud, which is the newer stuff, right? Because from here, you can't see which is, see, in iCloud, I have him once. Over here, it doesn't tell you what account it's in. That's the only thing that's a bummer. Why doesn't it tell me this is the old one, this is the new one? But if I go in here, I see him once, so I know this is the old one, and I go in here, I see him once, I know this is the new one. Does that make sense? But when I go to all contacts, I just see him twice, and nothing here tells me. As opposed to email, that it shows you this one is your iCloud account, this one is in your, same with the calendar. I showed you that this appointment was from this account. In the contacts, I just see him twice, and it doesn't tell me where it came from. So be it. They need to update the contacts app, I guess. Okay, Sue?
I somehow missed the segue between the calendar and the contacts, and you never told me how to delete things off of the calendar.
Because I decided to jump for a second to remind people how to delete stuff from contacts, but we're going straight back to the calendar now and
Okay.
continuing. Okay, I haven't told you how to enter or delete anything in the calendar yet. We were just making a little detour into contacts because last week I hadn't finished the conversation of how to delete duplicates,
Right.
which came up when we saw Julie's example of she had 2 birthdays there.
Right.
And that reminded me that I hadn't had you delete the duplicates. Okay, so here we are in contacts again.
In calendar.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, guys, it's just that over here, when I share the screen, it tends to come in small and I need to make it bigger for people to see it on our board. Okay. So let's all go back to our calendar to today. Okay. And we're going to enter, we're going to make an appointment. These are appointments that are fake. So if you need to write fake in front of them to remember, or just keep track of what we're making, because I do want you to not just watch. I want you to do this. Okay. So when I said the other day, set up Wonder Woman, and those of you who didn't, go ahead and click on week. Those of you who didn't, today didn't have it for a sample, please leave them just for when we're in this class, because I referred to that again. Later when I show you a reminder, we're going to come back. So just for the next couple of days, leave these little samples up and running. And then, so let's make something that's crazy, like climb the Himalayas, make an appointment that's ridiculous that you won't get confused with, do I really need to go to the doctor? If you made a doctor appointment, you know what I'm trying to say? Don't make an event now that sounds real. You later might be confused whether it's real or not. Let's all climb Mount Everest, okay? Which doesn't mean you didn't do it, but you probably won't do it next week. So we're going to make an appointment for something like that. That's why I use Wonder Women and things like that. Things that you clearly can see are from class. I used to use real names, but even Jane Doe, Mark Smith, some people might have a Mark Smith friend. So now I'm just going with Iron Man, Wonder Woman, that kind of thing, so that we can really, really know that something's wrong. Okay, my Wi-Fi on this computer, you're still seeing me. Okay, it seemed to say there that it had dropped, but now it's fine. Okay. All right, so here we have, or not, you guys might have an empty calendar, or you might have a good calendar, or the wrong one, but that might be that you didn't enter your other accounts. Okay, so because you're in 2025. Oh, you are in 2020. I was like, because you're in 25. We're in 2025. So something's wrong. Let's go to today. And here we are, Wednesday the 29th. So it's good. I don't know where you were at before, but this is correct. Okay. Okay. So today, this morning's already come and gone, right? But we can make something for tomorrow. Okay. So let's make an appointment for tomorrow. And wherever you have space, I have some space right here, and between 1 and 3, which I don't in real life. I actually have something here, but this is my fake calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and first of all, watch for a minute, sample. Over here on the left side, the last thing I worked on was exercise because I had, remember, moved it. So exercise is the calendar that is turned on. You see that? I mean, highlighted, not turned on, but see how it's highlighted? And that's because I had clicked on exercise. Okay, so now when I make a new thing here, I'm going to make a little click and drag over here from 1 to 2 p.m. I'm going to click and drag. What color did it come out? Came out green because it inherits, since that's the one I was in, it's making another one in that calendar. Does that make sense? Now I can change that and go, oh, this isn't going to be exercise. I can go over here where I see the green color and choose this is going to be an SPCC teacher appointment or a iCloud appointment or a home appointment or whatever you want to make. Does that make sense? So that, or maybe I'll make it be a family time appointment, right? Or friends, whatever it is that you have. Now you would have, by default, iCloud comes with, I believe, only work and home. The rest were ones that I created here as samples. But you should have for sure under iCloud work and home, or just your entire email account. Okay. So I'm going to make this one under SBCCT teacher, which happens to be that bright pink. And under new event, I'm going to click here on new event and I'm going to say, climb Mount Everest. So let's all make an appointment where from 1 to 2 tomorrow, we're going to climb Mount Everest. So I click under where it says new event. So how did I make the, hold on, I see some people don't know how I made this. So let me just do this again. Don't worry about this yet. Let's just make a basic appointment right now. Then if we want to create new accounts, but let's just make a basic appointment. We're going to click and drag. And I made something from 1 to 2. Now, when you first make it, it's still live, ready for you to do it. But say that you did that and then you clicked on something else and you forgot. And now when you go back into it, it just says new event. So to pop up the tools to write something on it, I would have to double click. So now I'm back at where it makes. I'm going to click on new event and I'm going to call this climb Mount Everest. Okay, we're all going to go together to climb Mount Everest, you guys. I've learned people then go, for some reason I have a Jane Doe birthday, and I'm like, oh, it's from our last class. So now let's just, okay, double click because you, exactly, when you leave it, now you have to double click to get in there again. Double click. Double click. No, you're not, you're right clicking. I don't know what you're doing. You're not, there it is. You double clicked and somehow it popped in there. Let me, I don't know why it popped in there. Let me see if I can, don't click with this, just double click right there. Select there. So now under new event, click where it says new event. We're going to delete that word. And that got fixed like the untitled. When you don't change it in the moment, then it's just called new event. So now select to delete that. And now write climb Mount Everest or whatever you guys want to put in there that you know is fake. Oh, if you have an appointment, go for it. Now, when I'm going to teach you how to delete things, I want to make sure that you're okay with deleting if it's real, right? Then you might not want to delete it. Okay. So climb Mount Everest. I chose what calendar to put it in. If it's a Zoom meeting, you can click in here and say, you know, paste the Zoom link that someone sent you in an email, for example. But since it says add location or video call, I'm going to click on add location oh, I'm working on this one here. That's just doing it. I'm going to click on add location. And let's say Nepal. And over here, maybe that's, I wonder if we put Everest, what happens? Everest KS.
Deanna, we lost you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, I just had to change microphone, so this one took a bit longer. Okay, let's just say Kathmandu, which is a city. Kathmandu, comma, Nepal. And when you do that, it will find actually the city, which isn't where Everest is, but never mind. So if I do that, I'm looking for something real because I want a real map. Okay. So now I wrote Kathmandu, Nepal, which you guys can write New York, New York. Who cares? Or LA. Guys, the whole point is that I wanted a map in there. Okay, you got a map in Santa Barbara. Perfect. So, and if you're just having lunch at Pascucci's and you know how to get there, you don't need to write the address there, right? You just write lunch at Pascucci's and you'll know that you need to go there if you know where it is. Okay. Now, next thing is when and where and all of that information. Now, by default, since I clicked and dragged, it gave me a 1 to 2 p.m. October 30th. But what if I actually wanted to be there for 2 hours? So I'm going to have to change something there. So I'm going to click on that 1 to 2 p.m. And as soon as I click, all the information to change it opens up, right? And I'm going to go, well, it looks like it's going to take me 3 hours, right? So I'm gonna, 2 hours. So I'm going to go from 1 to 3. See how it got bigger? I could have done that, or I could have just dragged this and made it bigger and dragged it up and made it bigger. Like I could have done either one. But if I wanted to change it by numbers, then I would change it that way. Okay? Everyone changed the time on it? Which is why I'm saying don't make a real one, because I want you guys to practice with whatever stuff, because we're just making it. What if what if this is something I'm going to repeat?
What if it got flipped over to the camera, left like yours did on the red? Like mine doesn't have all of this information over here.
Yeah, it has that information because I clicked on it. I said, see how mine doesn't have that information just like yours, but I said that time is wrong. So I clicked in here to make it open. So go click in there and it'll open. And then now we can say, well, I only wanted it to finish at 3, not at 3:30. So I can click over here and I can, now this top one, when you change it, say I change this from 12:15 to just 12, and I write in a 00, watch for a minute, you guys. Okay, listen. This says 12:15 to 3:30. If I change this to 12 only, right, then it kept the same amount of hours. It changed my bottom one by default to 3:15. It was 3:30. It assumes that I was still wanting it to be a 3-hour appointment, but I moved it to 12. What if I move it to 2 p.m.? Then it goes to 5:15. See what I mean? It just assumed I wanted that many hours. If I wanted less hours and I wanted this to be only from 2 to 4, then I would have to write 2 to 4 and then it keeps it. But the bottom number otherwise keeps changing. So now I have 2¼ hours. So if I make this start at 1, then it moved that to 3:15. Does that make sense? It just keeps these two in sync. So just so you know, in case you change the top one, that if this was supposed to be only 2 hours, then you would have to change this one as well to be only 2 hours, because otherwise it kept it in sync. Does that make sense? These are, now, what if it wasn't even supposed to be on Thursday? What if it was supposed to be on today, on Wednesday, where I have something? So now I'm going to go over here to where it says start. And I'm going to change this to October 29. And see, I'm going to use the calendar to change it to October 29. So look what happened. It pushed it over. And now it's like, well, you kind of messed up there. But it also changed the bottom date. And it's showing as busy. I had something there already. Okay. Then I'm like, oh, no, that was wrong. It's supposed to be on Friday. Okay, so I'm going to click in there and I'm going to choose Friday. Phew. So now it's got the whole time. Got it? But yeah, if I were to put it on, what's that, Monday the 27th, then it will just push things over. What do you mean by move over?
It doesn't have everything over here like yours. It doesn't have all the rest of it like yours. The red thing has the whole thing.
Well, it's okay. It will, because I've clicked away, and so click away like it's correct, and then select it again, double click. Double click to open it. Your others do have time, so I don't know why this one doesn't have to. Oh, I don't know why it doesn't have time right now. Just let's finish it through and then we'll find out. Click on the time where we're still, yeah, because mine says Kathmandu 1 to 3 p.m., but hers doesn't. Hers just says climb Mount Everest. So, but your other appointments do have time. So I'm not sure right now why it does or doesn't have that. Okay. Oh, maybe you're making it in one of the Gmail account. No, this is a Gmail account. Okay. So that's how you would change that. Now, most importantly, what if this is a repeating appointment? And one thing people make a mistake is say that it is truly climb Mount Everest and it's going to take you 2 weeks. Watch. If I say start and ends and I change the ending time, and this is where people make a mistake, to say the 31st, what you're saying is that the appointment goes from the 27th to the 31st. See how it just basically fills in your entire calendar. Does that make sense? So when you want something to be there every day you need to exercise an hour because you're prepping. So it's not climb, train, let's call it train to climb Mount Everest. Then I'm going to have to give it the same, the date doesn't change, but every day I'm going to train for 2 hours. Then it's a repeating appointment. Every day from 1 to 3 p.m., I'm going to train to climb Mount Everest. Does that make sense? I have to train, and that's the way you do a repeating appointment versus changing the appointment starting and ending, because that would block it out. Now, if you truly are traveling for 2 weeks and you want no appointments while you're traveling, then you might want to say start and ends and have the whole thing blocked out. But even when you're traveling, you sometimes have an appointment. I need to meet at 2 with a tour conductor, or at 4 the boat leaves. So I prefer to just have the all-day appointment for when I'm traveling, and I go from Monday to Friday. I'll be in, I don't know, Washington, and then I can still make appointments for when I have to see someone in Washington at whatever time. Does that make sense? So watch, if I don't want to have an appointment because every day I need to train, but I'll train at different times, what I don't need to have in there is this 1 to 1 p.m. I would go and click on all day. And when you click on all day, that information went up to the top. Every day I got to train to climb. But if I turn off the all day, then it defaulted to a generic 12 to 1, and then I have 10 at 1 I'm going to train. Does that make sense? And I did not give it an end time. So watch, I said repeat every day. That's it. So when I go to my calendar, if I go back to a year from now, the train to climb, let me go to 2031. Look how many years I went by. I open up July 28th of 2031 and it's still there. I'm still training because I did not give it an end date to that repeat. I can go for years and it'll still be there. So now I'm going to go back to today, and I want to make any appointment if I'm making it repeat, I want to tell it when to end the repetition. Okay. Does that make sense? Because if I repeat it every day and I don't tell it when to end, so I can tell it to end on, and it says, oh, is this a repeating event? Do you want to change it for all occurrences? Yes, change all and have it end in, let's say it'll end in November 29th. You sure you want to change to a repeating rule? Yeah, change all. Okay, so now when I go to October next week, it's still there. The following week, I'm clicking on this calendar. It's still there. November 12th, it's there. November 18th, it's still in there. But when I go to December 3rd, it's gone. Okay, it basically finished on November 29th or whatever it told it. Does that make sense? Now, let's say that we don't want to do this at all. And this is Sue's question. How do you delete it? Now, and here's the issue. If I keep going to the right, see how it's there for many, many days? Now, I'm going to go back to today. Say that I started it on Monday 27th. But this day I go, you know what? I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. So I'm going to delete it. Since it's a repeating event, if it was just a one-time event, it'll just delete. That's it. How do you delete it? Hit the delete key right now, it'll delete, or right click and delete. Okay, Sue, this is the answer to you. Sue, are you hearing me? Either hit the delete key, select it and hit the delete key on your keyboard. Boom. Or, and let me just make something that's just today. I'm going to have lunch today. Okay. If it's just a simple lunch and I sit delete, it just deletes, period. That's all. But I could also have hit the delete key on my keyboard. But in this case, it's a repetitive thing. So if I delete here on Friday 31st, delete only this event or delete all future events. It doesn't say anything about the past. It assumes that you already did that and you only care about today I can't train. Yeah, today I can't train. Good. It only deleted today, but it still tells me to keep training. But if I'm like, I'm not going to go to Mount Everest and I hit the delete key again, or I right click and hit delete, it says only this or all future events. I'm going to go, I'm not going to Mount Everest. Delete all future events. So now they're gone. Okay. I'm just left with the 4 that I did train and I decided too hard. I'm not going to go. All right. Does that answer, Sue, how to delete?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So either with your keyboard or with the right click, you delete, or you could select and go as usual. Everything can be done from the very top, right? So I go to edit and delete from there, and since, and I delete from there.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. I'm looking at the time. Okay. So has everyone been able to make, now this is an easy one to repeat because I just said repeat. And so every day, that kind of is automatic. But what if instead of every day, I was supposed to be like a mat class twice a week, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to create something here that I'm going to do twice a week. So this is why I had put in the exercise example over there. Let's just say we're going to, what do we do twice a week? I don't know. Wash my hair. I don't know. Just whatever. So I'm going to wash my hair twice a week. Okay. But I'm very regimented about it. I'm going to wash my hair on Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever. Okay. So then when you go down here to repeat, it only gives you every day or every week or every month or every year. So this is where you could put in someone's birthday is every year. So you could have it repeat every year and it would work if you did it by hand. But none of this is telling me Monday and Thursday or Sunday and Tuesday or whatever. So I would have to go down to custom. Okay. So let's head down to custom. So everyone please do this with me. Don't just watch. Set up a silly appointment. And we're going to have it be repeated. Maybe the one that you're making, Hike with Heidi, you're going to make it be repetitive. Okay. So go down here to go click. I don't know why, but click in here and let's do the repeat. Click. Good. And I go to the repeat. Click on repeat. And now we're going down to custom because we're going to have it be not every day, not once a week, but twice a week. So once you do that, the default shows up as weekly, which is fine. Sometimes it's monthly or yearly, but we're just going to leave it at weekly. Every 1 week on, let's say Tuesday and Thursday. But today's Friday. So let's turn off Friday and it's going to go, something's wrong there. It's going to fix itself. So Tuesday and Thursday are the twice a week that I'm because I see how I'm trying to make my appointment for Friday. Not that today's Friday, but I set up the appointment on Friday. But here I'm telling it to repeat Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. Got it? If it's every other week on Tuesdays, you can do that. Now I'm going to cancel this. Just watch this for a minute. Just watch. Look at my screen. What if it was, those like every third Thursday of the whatever. So if I went to monthly, then I could tell it on the third Wednesday of the month, right? So you can be as detailed as you want. And then every third Wednesday of the month, it'll say whatever. pay my rent, or whatever it is that you're doing that day. Okay, so then that would appear if you do it monthly. If you go yearly, then on the 1st of November, so like Mother's Day in Argentina is not Mother's Day here. It's last Sunday, and it's the 3rd Sunday, I believe. I think it was the 3rd Sunday, and I don't remember right now because my sister always calls me. But I did this once. I set it up. So in my calendar, as long as I look at my calendar, this time I did figure it out, and I called her because my calendar reminded me. It was the 3rd Sunday in October, right? So there you go. From now on, I'm going to be reminded that it's 3rd Sunday in October. Does that make sense? So it depends on what you're choosing here. But if we're choosing weekly, then it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday. Okay? So we're going to say okay to that. Custom every week on Tuesday and Thursday. End repeat. No, I never have to stop washing my hair, so I'm not going to put an end repeat. Okay? Do I have to travel? Do I need an alert? No, I don't have to travel to wash my hair. Do I need an alert? Yeah, I want an alert. So what alert do I want? I want an alert an hour before, or 30 minutes before, 15 minutes before, right? Which for washing hair seems kind of ridiculous, but what if this was go to my class or something, right? So maybe I want to be reminded 30 minutes before the class starts that the class is starting. Now say that it is go to class, go to a generic class, because I also want to remind myself that this is fake. So if I have to go to that class, I might need to travel for 15 minutes. So the alert is going to be 30 minutes before travel time, because that's when I have to get into the car. So if it alerts me 30 minutes before travel time, it basically is going to alert me 45 minutes before the class starts. Does that make sense? Which is good. It gives me half an hour to get ready and get in the car and get here. Okay, so I swear I use these a lot. My timing. All right. What does show as busy means? That if something else pops in, it says, oh, can you do something next Thursday at 1? When I try to make something, it'll tell me, ooh, it's busy. If I say, no, never mind, show up as free, it means that I don't really care much about that class and I won't be told it's busy. So if I want to be reminded that it's busy, basically I always leave that one on. I don't change that either. All right, so now now I changed it. Now it's called go to generic class from 1 to 2:30 every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's never going to stop repeating. Now that it's a class, maybe I should get an end repeat to that. And I'll be warned 30 minutes before. But what if 30 minutes before isn't enough? Can I set another alert? Sure, I can. Right now, there's no way to set an alert. But when I hover over 30 minutes, a plus sign appears. Oh, I can put in another alert. Okay, I want also an alert an hour before travel time. So now I have 2 alerts. Can I get more alerts? Sure, I can get an alert the day before. Say that it's like you have to buy someone a birthday present. Okay, I want an alert. I'm going to go over here and I want an alert 2 days before because you want time, so you can change. Yeah, actually, let's talk a bit. So you put in as many alerts as you want with the timing that makes sense to you. And this little alert is going to be just a little banner that appears on your computer and on your phone if you have the whole system connected. Like when you turn on your phone, it'll say over here, go to generic class at 1 p.m. I didn't know which example I'm giving right now, or climb for the Himalayas, or someone's birthday, whatever it is that you're setting it to say. So for birthdays, for example, of people that I have to just say, hey, happy birthday with an email, it's fine if I get alerted on the same day. But if it's someone's that I need to buy them a present or something, then I might want to be alerted a week before or something like that. What do you mean a week before? I don't have that choice. Now it just gives me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 1 hour, 2 days. So if I want something outside of that time frame, I would have to go custom, right? Can I make it tell me? Yeah, I can make it tell me 2 days before, 15 days before, right? I mean, I can change that to whatever kind of alert I want. What kind of alert do you want? I want you to send me an email So I want an email 15 minutes before, 15 days before that I'm supposed to go to that class, for example, right? So you just choose whatever you want. Okay. I'm going to cancel that one. And cancel that one, right? So you can set up as many alerts as you want. Now these alerts, so now I'm done. I click OK. And now that's going to be oh, did I tell it? Repeats every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. So now when I go to next week, there it is, Tuesday and Thursday, following week, Tuesday and Thursday. But on this Tuesday and Thursday, it looks like I had something at that time. So it just shares the space, which when I look at my calendar, I should go, whoops, I did something wrong there, right? But it doesn't tell me you did something wrong. It just puts it in there, and it's up to you to deal with 2 things at a time. Like, for example, I'm being invited to, what time is it? 4:10. Right now, there's a class going on Friday that I wanted to go to, but I can't. Why? Because it's at the same time as when I'm teaching. So I'm not going to be able to do it. Now, see these that are lines that are diagonal stripe lines? Those are invitations. Someone invited me to join this event. This was from yesterday, right? And I got an invitation to do that. And it's office hours for our VP. And it appears in my calendar as an invitation, and I can say yes or no to it. Okay. They emailed me. So I received an email that says, and let me go to my email from Pipeline, right? And I got an invitation at some point, and this is probably one of those that's a ongoing invitation. So I would have to go find it. It's from Bija Gomez. Here. So it's annual, here it is, whatever, enrollment management, assistance, feedback. She has many that she sets up office hours and stuff. Like, I probably deleted the office hours because I couldn't go, right? So the whole point is that I've been officially invited through an email, and then it pops in here as an invitation. Now I can double click on it. It tells me how to join, what to do, who's, how to, all this information. And then over here, I can maybe decline or accept. Maybe, sometimes you're not sure, decline or accept. If I accept, it would just turn yellow because it's part of my Pipeline calendars. It would turn yellow, and it's an appointment I have.
How does AI know it's an invitation?
I know it's an invitation because it got put in by my mail app. I got invited to something, and so my mail app put it in here as a, you've been invited, you need to accept or not. I could have accepted or not through the email, but it's not an email. You don't get an email saying, hey, do you want to come to lunch? It's the kind of, it's a kind of email that they sent, which is an invitation to an appointment. And it is an email that doesn't look like regular emails. Let me see if I can. That's if we want to invite someone. Yeah. Trying to find one right now, and these are not. Okay, here's an invitation. Here's it says invitation at top. So here it is. Invitation, Dr. Villa Gomez's HyFlex office hours. This is it, right? So she has so on Monday, December 15th, for example, she's invited me to this one. So the email is a format that is a very specific invitation created by an app like that. So I get to say down here, yes, no, or maybe. So I could have said yes, no, or maybe here in the invitation itself. Okay. This was sent to me on August 21st, because this is an ongoing thing she has every month, every week, every whatever. So she sent me an invitation for Monday, December 15th in August. But at that point, I might not know. So I'll say maybe, or I will know because that's important to me. I'll say yes or whatever. From my email itself, I could say yes, no, or maybe. But if I didn't answer yes, no, or maybe, then it pops in that way. And now I can double click on it and I can choose. maybe, decline, or accept. Now, if you don't have these arriving to you, I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but if you've ever seen these things appear, like in this temporary mode, if I said decline, it would disappear. That's it. It's gone. I've declined it. If I say accept, it would appear and it would be like yellow because it's in my pipeline account. If I instead say maybe, which I'm going to say right now, although it's past, it stays in the color of the appointment that it would turn into, which is yellow, but it's still zebra line because it's a maybe. If I accept, I can change it to accept, then it becomes an appointment. It's all yellow. But if instead, and now it's going to disappear, once I say this, it'll disappear. So watch well, because I won't be able to re-accept it. If I say, if I say declined, right, then it's gone because I said no. So then I won't be reminded about that event because I've declined it. Does that make sense? Now, since I haven't yet closed it, I can still change it. But the moment I close this, it's a runner. Yeah, but once I've declined it and it's gone, it's gone. I would have to go back to my email and re-accept from there, but it's gone right now. It was that long. That was how long it was. Yeah, she has a 20 minutes. It's basically an invitation to all faculty if you want. She has office hours. You want to go talk to her. This is her Zoom during that time. And probably, yeah, there we go. Command Z. But that Command Z works right now. But if next week I go, oh, I wish it was there, the Command Z won't be available. But see, that was from 3 to 3:30. She's there for half an hour. And so this appointment was a half an hour long. See how it's that long?
Yeah, and it also notifies the vendor that you've accepted or
Yeah.
declined or-
Yeah, when and depends on if they've asked for the notifications to be like, if it's really important, they want every person to answer, they'll have it set up to receive their answer. But if it's to the entire faculty, can you imagine if every person who says yes or no? So basically when they go to the appointment they set up, they can look up and they'll see a list of who said yes, who said no. It'll be like green check marks on everyone said yes, and it'll have red on those. I'm at maybe, so I have an orange question mark. Dean Musaiko said maybe, but these people said no, these people said yes. Okay. I have another invitation here and I would love to take this class, but I can't because I'll be teaching. So this one, unfortunately, I'll just decline. And this is still in my future and I would like to take it, but I can't. So there you go. I'm declining. It's disappeared. I won't be able to say yes to that one for sure. So I've declined. And this one's in the past. So I'm going to decline anyway because I don't necessarily need it. I'm going to just decline. But I'll leave that one as an example. Okay. So that's when you get an invitation in that invitation format. Now, what else?
That the word work don't work,
Word work.
calendar homework.
Oh, you can just turn it off and not use that calendar. Yeah. You can delete it too, by the way. You can just right click and delete the calendar. I don't want to delete it, but be careful because if you've ever made appointments under that calendar, they're all deleting, they're all disappearing. Okay. So now, Sue, yeah.
Yeah, I need to know how to, I need you to show me once more how to get the map
Okay.
when you're setting up your appointment. But wait a
So-
minute, because I've got something screwy on my screen that I don't know how to get rid of.
Let me stop my share and start again. That way, hopefully it'll pop in at the top. There. Did I pop in at the top now?
Okay. Yeah,
So let's take this one that says go to generic class. I'm going to double click and I'm going to, how to get the map? You have to add a location.
right.
So I'm going to say that this is at the Wake campus. Wake.
Oh, you
campus,
typed it in.
and there it is, Wake campus or Wake Center under both names. I'll
Right.
choose Wake campus.
Yeah.
It's a repeating event. Do I want the map on all of them? Yeah, I want it on all of them. And so now there we go. When I go to that appointment every time, I double click, the map will still be there. When I go in 3 weeks, I double click, the map is still there. Okay. Because I
Okay.
told it to put it in all of them. So I don't get a map. I just add a
But-
location. The map shows up because you added a location.
Okay, so on your appointment sheet, when you add the location, it automatically gives me a map?
Yeah, so I'm gonna delete location for all, and I'm gonna add, say that we're gonna meet at the, I don't know. Does our Santa Barbara Pier have any name? The pier, Santa Barbara Wharf? Let's meet at the museum, at the Stearns Wharf. Stearns, as soon as I put the word stay, it shows up, Stearns Wharf.
Yeah,
Click on that, map appears.
great.
Now it has to be a place that exists that you click on. Other than that, if you put an address, whoops, the class is over. If I were to put an address in there, say that I would just say 123 State Street, right?
Right?
It could be, look, Santa Barbara, Hemet, Arroyo Grande, Lompoc. Look like there's a lot of possible 123 State Streets around the country. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you can't just say 123 State Street and leave and expect, because it's not enough. So there's no map. Does that
Right.
make sense? So if I were to say 123 State Street, comma, California, comma, 93101, 01, like if I did the whole thing and I hit return, it's still, you know, as long as it's like, if I know the exact address with state, with zip code, it gives me a map. But for the most
Right.
part, unless you know all of the details, if you just say 123 State Street, for example, it doesn't give you a map because it can't figure out what you're talking about.
But if you said 123 State Street, Santa Barbara, California, it would give,
Santa Barbara, Barbara. If I stopped there and I didn't choose one of these and I stopped right there, like without actually choosing one, and then it's still not enough. It needs the, at least the area code. I'm not sure if I don't put Santa Barbara, but I write 93101, if that's enough. I think it might. I think it wants you to then choose the right
there,
address.
yeah,
Yeah, if you don't choose the right address, then it doesn't count until you put the entire Santa Barbara, California 93101, then it works.
okay,
Other than that, it wants you to choose from the list of possible choices. And so
right.
choose that, then it gives you the address.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, hold on. Write down your questions because it's after 4:15. Okay, so write it down. You wanted to know how to add more calendars in here. We'll do that. We're going to also talk about reminders next week and notes. Next week, next Monday is our last class. After that, next Wednesday, we're starting the iLife class. The iLife class, if you're signed up, it's an online only Zoom class. So we're going to stop meeting here in person. Those of you who are in the class and are online, we'll see you online next Wednesday. But Monday, we're still here, okay? All right.
Deanna, I sent you a private message.
Okay. In the chat or an email?
Yes.
I don't see anything in the chat. Oh, maybe it's in this chat. Okay. Yeah, that was recorded. As I said, it's just for the people in this class, but even if that's bad, then I could try to go in, not post the recording and delete that piece, but that's only if they allow it to be on YouTube. If it's on Zoom, I can't delete a piece. So let's do this. This is why I usually don't want real stuff. How about I won't put this email of this video up. I won't put a Zoom link for this video up. If somebody does want this video, I'll just ask me for it and I'll send you the link. Thing is that if YouTube allows it, I can edit the piece out. But if it's going to be visited on Zoom, there's no way to edit that piece out. So if that's still a concern, then I will just not put today's recording up for anyone.
Can you put like a blank sheet in front of it, that screen?
If it shows up on video, I can. If it allows me to upload it to YouTube, I can edit a piece out. But if it's not, for any reason, if it says this is a problem, you know, the bullying, and I can only show it through the Zoom link, and the Zoom link, it's as is, you can't edit that video, so then I just won't put it.
Hmm.
So I'll tell you when I set it up.
Okay.
Do you remember around what time we did it? So I don't have to search for that. Was it in the middle of the class or something? It was after break.
It was after the break, yeah.
Okay. Can you send me an email? Because this will disappear and I won't see it. Send you an email, and when I go and post it, I'll see if I can edit it and post it in YouTube.
Yeah.
That would be the good news if it's on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, then we just won't have today's recording up there. Next time, guys, and this is the first time this has happened, but if you're showing me something, listen, guys, for a second. Oh, you doesn't matter to you guys, but if you're ever sharing your screen and there's information there that you don't want recorded, I can pause the recording during that whole time, and then I start it again afterwards, and then that piece doesn't get recorded. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're ever sharing your screen and you're like, please don't record this. Well, yeah, but in this case, it's personal information. So that's the concern.
Yeah.
It's only for us, no one else, but if someone here were to be malicious, then the address was real. So that's a problem. Okay.
So I'll just send you an email then?
Send me an
Okay.
email, and when I get it up on YouTube, if it's accepted, and they don't tell me until like the next day, and if it's accepted, then I'll have to go in there and edit it through YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
next time, you guys, please keep an eye on that. And when people are putting in passwords and stuff, or passwords always show us as bubbles, but sometimes I see people's numbers. I try to stop the recording, but I didn't notice. My brain can't be everywhere, and I didn't notice that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good weekend. See you Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Deanna.
guys.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, could you send me an email also for this?
Of this recording.
The email for listen to the video.
I don't normally send the emails. It's always in the class, but if you want me to send me an email, send
Yeah.
me an email reminding me to do that, or I will forget, because I won't
Okay.
have that link and all uploaded until tomorrow.
All right.
Especially if I need to edit the video.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay, bye. See you
Bye.
guys on Monday.